There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking, SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11.
Vagina.
Hey guys, it's Scarce here. Lots of news today, lots of exposure. And double upload. Expose, 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 expose,
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scarce here. So from now on, I'm going to report the news. Let's go inside the stories.
Expose, 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 expose. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you. Expose, 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 expose. It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose. 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 Exposed. Exposed. Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking, SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11.
Vagina.
Hey guys, it's Scarce here. Lots of news today, lots of exposure. And double upload. Expose, 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 expose,
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was going to write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Scares here. And so from now on, I'm going to report the news. Let's go inside
My
the
jaw's
story.
hitting the ground. Expose, 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 expose. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you. Expose, 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 expose. It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose. 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 Exposed. 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 Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11. Vaginas. Hey guys, this is Scarce here. Lots of news today, lots of exposure and double upload. Expose. 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 You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose. My jaw's hitting the ground.
I don't give a shit!
Good.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dad Show.
Start your
Dad. So I got some new sounds. I want to get more, but some of those I'm really gonna have to dig for. Who is messaging me? I'll have to talk to him later. What's up, everybody? It's been a very interesting day. I wonder if we can get Dad's nipples to expand a little further today. Yeah, I got 1 million. Yeah, I got 1 million. Like, what do you have 1 million of, dude? Do you have a million seashells? Like, what do you have? And what happened to the 104? Did it go from 140 million to 1 million? It's just... damn, Radeon software, literally there is a section of the app where it teases me that I have a 39X instead of... What do you mean? Like, they're actually, like, telling you to upgrade? And what else? Like, oh, yeah, yeah. So we got... What is the new stuff we have in the soundboard? I think we got...
Good.
Gabe Newell saying good.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
By popular demand.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
I love it. I love it.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Is it? Is it really?
Ooh, yeah.
We got Stanley Kendall. We changed it up with ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't give a shit!
I don't... And then we got a better, more natural applause. My door is showing. Yeah, I gotta fix the... Hold on. I gotta see what I'm doing here. There. Fix. Yes. We are fixed. We are fixed. I got rid of the Grandpa Excited. What else? Did I put anything else new here? I haven't used this one in a while.
Oh!
I forgot about that one. I thought I had another one here. So we got the large crowd, we got the applause, we got the I don't give a shit, we got Stanley Kendall saying yeah, we got
My jaw's hitting the ground.
ah, God, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Well, I don't know where you would consider, like, there's another crypto pop right now, but I don't even know if the crypto pop is necessarily for mineable cryptos. Like, I don't know, can you even mine Cardano? I've only invested in it. I've never mined it. I've never mined Cardano, if it's even possible. I'm going to actually look into staking mine starting Monday. That's going to happen. I'm not just sitting on the coins and hoping that they pop like my whole... So, I don't even know, like, does it even matter with the crypto boom? Someone please explain that to me. So I have, well, I don't even want to talk about it because for obvious reasons, again, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be like, everyone's always Rich trying to pump that. Like, as soon as I mention it, everyone's like raising their eyebrows. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to sell you in a fucking crypto. I don't give a shit. Don't buy any, or you do whatever the fuck you want to do with your money. If you want to get a dollar bill and shove it up your ass, you do that. If you want to invest in crypto, you do that. If you don't you do that. Dude, that was so ridiculous with that pastor last night, man. That was so ridiculous.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Like, he was sitting there. He's like, man, this delicious semen. I would be having semen in my lattes. Like, what is wrong with you, bro? Yeah, Cardano is stake only, which you're like kind of, if you have any questions, you could go to Cardano's website and they have staking pools that they approve right there. Like, I'm an idiot right now for not staking my Cardano. Period. Without question, I am fucking stupid. Like, if you have, one thing I will say, not saying that you should invest in Cardano, but if you do have Cardano and if you don't stake it, you're fucking insane. So I am fucking insane. Yeah, you may as well have said I swallowed the whole cock, and it was, dude, it's just, like, I've never, like, man, I bet semen in my coffee would taste it. Like, dude, some people are and the thing is, it shows you how many insane people are out there. Semen is good for I've actually heard that before. And what I was saying before is what's even more insane is that people are like, yeah, this guy makes total sense. Yes, they are trying to turn people gay by having gay baristas blow loads in their lattes. And he's not joking. It's not a comedy skit. He's being realistic. He's not being realistic. That was a stupid phrase. You know what I mean? He's serious. Oh my God. What are your thoughts on NFTs? I don't know how to feel about NFTs. I'm not going near NFTs. I'm sure I'll probably regret that, but I don't even understand them. I mean, I do understand them. They make a digital, it makes possessing something digitally valuable. Like, there's only one of a kind for that NFT. Cool. I don't know, though. Rich, be honest. Do you really love Raycons? I've heard they're overhyped and cheaply made. What's your honest? I beat the shit. These are the original pair I've gotten from my right here. These are the original pair that I have. Dude, you don't have to take my word for it. They're a sponsor of mine. I like, but this is my original pair. They still work. I don't know what else to tell you, and they do. They sound good. I still use them. Thoughts on the Switch's lifespan at this point? Yeah, I think I thought when the Switch first came out, I'm like, yeah, this is an awesome concept, but they probably should make like a new Switch every 2.5 years. Apparently, they don't have to. I mean, they're coming out with Darksiders 3. It's just amazing what developers could do with a limited piece of tech if they need to make money off of it, man. So, whatever, I'm not going to tell you that because they're a sponsor. And that would be that I'm not going to tell you that. That's why I have to tell you that they sponsor me. You know what I mean? Rich, what are your thoughts on remasters and remakes? It's on a case-by-case basis. There's sometimes, I feel, for example, Skyrim, they're milking the living shit out of it. I feel that Grand Theft Auto 5, granted I know a bunch of people that if it wasn't for Grand Theft Auto 5 online, they probably wouldn't play games anymore. So it is what it is. They're making a bunch of money. But then there's some remakes that are awesome. Like, I would say the Demon's Souls remake for the PS5 is really fucking incredible. It's like a brand new game. Which 80 or 80 Ti series cards would you have the most nostalgic memories with? I don't know. What card did I have? I can't even remember it, man. It was NVIDIA 8800 GT. I had to think about that for a second. That card that was a card I probably had for the longest, because I couldn't afford anything else. So I had that card for a long time, man. The 8800 GT. I milked every ounce out of that card. I had that from 2007 to 2011. Yeah, I had that until I had the 560 Ti. And I remember I got that card. I got the 560 Ti because of Crysis 2, which was funny because Crysis 2, when they first came out, they basically just ported over the console version. It didn't even have DirectX 11 yet. It was just a DirectX 9 game. I remember Crysis 2 didn't even make because I had a low res monitor, admittedly, but even, I was hitting easily 60 FPS with my 560 Ti. It was, it was just funny. They were like, oh, you to have the true and they were like, I remember them actually having ads where they were Crysis 2 and they were trying to sell the 560 Ti with they were promoted this is the ideal card to get the best Crysis 2 experience, and that was a crock of fucking shit. That was a crock of shit, man. Did you mention that the HoriPet FPS Plus also Matt, I did, and Control also please message me on Twitter so I can explain foreign instructions. I keep asking you because it has great features which they need to make for PS5 version. All right, well, message me again, man, because I get inundated with messages. So yeah, we'll try it. What the hell? Why not? Remember the AMD Phenom 2 rig you had with it? Yes, John, absolutely. Dude, that was my main rig for 4 years plus, and that's a lot for me. And I had this rig. This is an original Threadripper rig that I'm actually streaming from right now. So it's not that I don't have computers but usually I upgrade or I'll do another build, or you know what I mean? Yeah, that one I had for. No, I didn't. What I did, the 560 Ti I had. Who the fuck made that? Was that Palette? No, I don't even remember. It had orange fans on it. It was weird. No, I didn't touch anything. There was something. I don't even remember what happened because I never know. I didn't touch any of the clocks. When I got 8800 at 60 FPS on World of Warcraft, it changed your life. Yeah, dude, the 8800 GT was a... Oh, I don't know if you had the GT or whatever, but that was a badass card. It was mid-range, but it was just... It was like the perfect sweet spot for its time. It had 512 megabytes of memory, which is laughable now, but back then, that was a lot. So it just kind of worked with every game that you threw at it. But John, that was interesting. I ran Furmark, and I remember hearing the alarm go off telling me the card was overheating. I don't know what the fuck. There was something wrong with that card. That's all it was. There was something wrong with that card. Like, there's no. That's just it. There was something wrong. Period. So GTA, yeah, I'll get the controller, man. Just make sure you hit me up on Twitter again. So it turns out OnlyFans put out a memo a few weeks ago that they wouldn't ban sex work. Surprised they banned it anyway. Now everyone is revolting. Dude, I don't understand whether they like it or not. Your core market is pornography, which is fine. I'm not even saying that it's a big fucking deal. It isn't a big fucking deal. But that's just the way it is. That's just how the fucking cookie crumbles. And now that's like, I mean, granted, my YouTube channel is a smorgasbord of shit. Like, I'll go from talking about the quartering to reviewing a television, literally. But that's like if Linus Tech Tips woke up tomorrow and said, you know what, man, my investors really want me to start a stamp collection channel. So all the tech reviews that we do, yeah, we're done with them. We're done.
Oh, yeah.
Like, 99% of his audience would leave. I don't understand how they think that's man, money makes people stupid, man. Money makes people stupid. Money makes people greedy and evil. A Simpson Hit and Run remake would be nice. Also, I would like to see Midnight Club remaster. There's a lot of games I'd like to see a remake of. Yeah, me too. Remakes, and again, it's a case-by-case basis. There's like, no one is asking for a Skyrim remake again, or a remaster. Any rigs that I regret selling? No, not really. To be quite frank with you, not really. I am going to have to use the bathroom, though. John, I blame you. Your comment made me have to take a dump. I don't know what this is. Like, my butthole's like, oh, wait, you hit the stream button? Time to let out a turd. Actually, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to take a dump. I'll be right back. And growing up, we'll get to you when I get back. But no, John, there's no rig that I regret selling. my God. Holy shit. Holy shit.
I don't give a shit!
Oh, I gave a shit. You know what I was thinking while I was popping out that loaf? You know what I was thinking? Like, what is Stephen Colbert? Like, what is someone who's like way more relevant than me does? Like, if you're like a... Because they do their shows. I mean, I know they tape them and show them later, but they're still live with an audience. I like Steve Colbert can't go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you my 6,000th or 6 millionth Trump joke after I take a massive shit. Like, I don't get it. Like, there's nothing. Like, if I didn't go shit, I would have just shit on the chair. Like, I owe you guys an apology. You know, I feel bad. It's like, hey, I'm starting a stream now. Oh, 2 minutes later, have to take a shit. But I don't know what to tell you. There's a turd in my hole. That makes me wonder, like, what is Jimmy Fallon and shit? Like, what do they do? I don't watch, like, I watch Hassan Piker and stuff like that from time to time, and I'll watch Camelot, obviously. You know, like, Camelot, have you ever had to go, are you here? I know he'll tell me. Have you ever had to go in and take a shit while you were live streaming? I'm sure you have. Like, does Miss Click ever go, hi guys, I have to take a dump? Like this, like we know that RGT does. RGT, like, but he'll take a dump right on stream. He's just like, yeah, I got a hole in my chair. Like, I can't picture, like, John from Spawnwave or Modern Vintage Gamer letting out a Modern Vintage turd. Like, but I don't know what to do. Like, and it's not that I'm like, I'm gonna wait to take a shit. I'm gonna wait to take a shit until I have to stream.
Oh yeah.
I'm not doing that. Fallout New Vegas, yeah, that would see that one, like, that, remake that, remaster that. Oh my God, man. And I'm just like, what do I, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh man, that's rude. I just started streaming. I can't go shit. Yeah, but I'm like, I don't know what to do. I got a log and my hole needs to extract it. Isn't this a real, this is a quality stream. This is why everyone comes here, man. You get the content. The content with a K. We still have DSP here. Yes, we do.
Good.
I love that. I found a Gabe Newell soundboard. I'm like, which one will work from Gabe?
Good.
And that works. A nice, crisp good from Mr. Gaben. Like, I would love to ask, like, Stephen Colbert that and, like, Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel. I'm like, because there had to have been probably on numerous occasions where they're like, oh, man, I really have to shit. Does anyone here care that I'm letting out a turd? I always care that you're letting out a turd, man. Turds are important. CM Punk's next opponent for AEW World Heavyweight is going to be Carlos the Chicken. I'm calling it right now. Bring back in the old cheer.
I don't give a shit!
Got baked for the first time in 4 years yesterday. I miss vaping THC oil. Coworker just became my new dealer. Relaxed for the first time in years. Yeah, man, that's the thing. Like, and I cut back, and I'm not going out of my mind. It just gets you, you know what it just does? It just gets you relaxed. It gets you tired. But John, that was an interesting question. I don't think there's any rigs that no, you know what? That's a partial lie, John. But I don't even really regret it because I would have moved on from it anyway. My 5960, that was an 8-core Intel chip I got back in 2014. That rig is still good. Like, you can still do everything. I gave that to my friend. He helped me move like an entire fucking office. He moved a big chunk of my office. So as a thank you, and like, dude, I know you need a computer, so I gave him that. That had a 1080 in it. 5960X. That had 64 gigs of RAM too. That machine, for especially an 8-core Intel chip back in like 2014, was like, whoa. But man, I remember when I had that and I started editing on it, it was like it was literally a watershed moment, because it just improved my workflow so much, because the biggest bottleneck was rendering. And to have a video that would take like an hour to render go down to like 15, 20 minutes. Holy shit. Or sometimes even less. I mean, that was like a 12-minute video. If it was like an 8 to 10 minute video, sometimes it would render faster. So going from something that would take like, I would say for my size videos, half an hour down to like 10 minutes. Holy shit. That was the best investment at that time that I made, man. And that rig is still to this day. It doesn't handle the faster that was DDR4. That was when DDR4 was first coming on the scene. You can't do like the super fast DDR4 in there. It's like, I think it maxes out at like 2133. But still, you could gain 8-core, 16-thread processor, 64 gigs of slower but still capable RAM. You could put a 3080 in there and you'll be fine. I mean, maybe you'll bottleneck it a little bit, but always love your attitude and quality content, man. Me and my girl love you. Your poop jokes. You know what? Someone recognized me. I had to go, oh, you want to hear something interesting? Yeah, I could tell it. I don't think it has anything to do with YouTube, but someone decided to, because we've had pranks here before for years. Someone decided to come to my front porch, take the plastic chair and throw it on my roof. That was fun. So I had to go to the mall today, and I bought stuff to prevent that from happening again. And I had a mask on, and someone recognized me, like, "Are you Richard Review Tech USA?" And I saw the guy who's talking, like, I think it was his girlfriend, and then she walked away, and that's when he's like, I wasn't sure with the mask on. I'm like, yeah, man. He was like, "Hey, mind if I take a picture with you?" I'm like, yeah, sure. And it was weird. I'm like, damn, the dude even knew me, probably because I rewatched this blue shirt, because I had to film even more shit for that Hisense video. I've been wearing this blue shirt for like 3 days. So like, oh yeah, it's that fat fuck in a blue shirt. Can we get a round of applause for MVG and the work he did on the Quake? I got to watch his video on that. Hope we get a new single-player Quake game in the near future. They should do that's one that they need. A Quake remake, man. A Quake remake would be quite nice. Yes, that's a Beagle Boy. It's a very interesting question. I want to watch his video though on the Quake remake. Dying Light. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't a fan, and then I played it again and I absolutely loved it. So there you go. My laptop with a Ryzen mobile processor could wipe the ass of a 5950X today. You mean the 5960X from the 5950? That's the Ryzen 9 5950. But the 5960, you mean? I mean, yeah, dude, obviously there's more powerful chips than it now, but it's still, if I could only have that rig that I mentioned, man, I would still be perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? BioShock remake with ray tracing. They already kind of like a remake. I don't know if it would. Maybe I'll say maybe with that. I'll say maybe. I'd love it to do for Quake what they did for Doom. Yes, that's what I was. A remake, like a from the ground up. Like it's a new game. It's not. Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Oh man. Yeah, so a reboot, remake, whatever the hell you want to call it. Not a remaster. And even sometimes remasters are good, but just not Skyrim, man. Just not Skyrim. Like, we need a break from Skyrim. Skyrim needs a break. I just don't understand. So just got a small raise, wanted to share the love. Tell Chris Hansen I just came to get something to eat. Do I still have him here? No, I don't. I replaced Chris Hansen with...
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Who is that? Dustin and driving. OnlyFans women are mad about OnlyFans changing. Dude, but Dustin is driving, or Dustin in gaming. I don't know what the hell I was reading. Dustin is driving. My thing with that is, that was the core of their business. Like, what are they doing? No one... I had to agree with the Young Turks video today. Like, I was watching it and I'm like who really is fucking going there for cooking shows? They're trying to get that mainstream money. They think the piece of the pie there is bigger. And they're basically screwing over the base that got them where they are. And it's probably in the end going to destroy them. But I guess to the investors, it's worth to take the risk. I don't understand it. Just got a small raise. Wanted to just my jaw's
hitting the ground.
Hello, any update when we can order the Steam Deck? I don't even know when the fuck I'm gonna get mine, man. Yeah, Dustin is driving. I don't get it. But dude, that's the thing, is that the advertisers want to have the advertisers and the banks and the credit card companies. They want on the most milquetoast, homogenized shit because they think it's going to have the widest viewership because they don't want grandma to be offended by a cock. Excuse me. Cock. So it's just incredible. I've never seen... That's like YouTube tomorrow. I mean, I know they kind of try to put mainstream ahead of other people. We all know that, but that's like YouTube tomorrow flat out saying, yeah, the only people we're going to have is A-list Hollywood stars, and we're going to have on-demand movies, and that's it, and no one can make content anymore. Like, they're literally stopping what made them what made the... The OnlyFans found a way to break through. Granted, it was with porn, but with user-generated content when no one else could. And they're saying, yeah, we don't need that. Cooking shows, they're safe and ad-friendly. It's just incredible. But the thing is then Dustin is driving, then that new company will get greedy because everyone wants to try to offend as little people as possible so they can make the most money. So it's like, oh, if we stop doing porn, we can make more money. If we stop people from swearing, we can make more money. If we stop... So, God bless the fact that I could do these fucking streams, man. I mean, I'm 110% me on my main YouTube channel, but thank fuck, like, I could just spread my ass and go to town here. Like, yeah, I hope they do things like they're just like, so like a really gorgeous woman has her titties out and she's like making a meatloaf. I tried Dusk. I own Dusk. I like Dusk. Weed made it so I'm relaxed enough to game sometimes. Before weed, I used to get anxiety and couldn't bring myself to game even when Hank Hill. I can relate to that in more ways than you even realize. Not only can I relate? I know what that's like firsthand. It's strange. It's strange. And, I mean, I'm busy with stuff, too, as well. Don't get me wrong. I have 3 kids. But... And it's weird because I do game now from time to time, and it's like, oh, wow, I really enjoy this. I need to do this more. So may the horse be with you, and also with you, my son. I haven't seen that much about the new Tesla bot. I heard about it. And it's creepy. What I always say to people is we can't even handle social media. How the fuck are we gonna handle AI when it actually when it reaches that tipping point? You know what I mean? But here we are. God damn it, it's a good-looking bird. Can I get a few clucks and a fart? Yes. That was the bird farting, by the way. I'm about to start a new playthrough on my channel called Finished Ocarina of Time. What should I do next? Asking me what you should do next. Why don't you do Majora's Mask? I think you said Ocarina of Time. Would that kind of make sense to do that one next? Or maybe do like a Link to the Past. That's personally my favorite Zelda. Zelda 64 being a close second. You know, we literally don't have the emotional intelligence to handle being able to share thoughts instantly. You know what I mean? It's so... how the fuck are we going to handle AI that's possibly one day as smart as us? We're doomed. Anyway. Hey, Rich, how do you feel about what's going on in Afghanistan at the moment? I don't even really want to get... because it will go down the political rabbit hole. It's not that I'm afraid. I go into politics on here all the time. But once you go into that, we don't get out of it. And we just... we just kind of started the fucking stream. You know what I mean? I missed your super chat, Game Mason. How the hell am I missing super chats already? It's not even like Game Mason. I don't even see you, bro. You sure you super chatted? I'm looking. I don't see you. And GTAFK, make sure you message me that controller. Bro, I don't even see it, man. So, Zeb, again, all I can tell you is my personal experience with Raycons. Yes, they're a sponsor. This is the original set I got now 2 years ago. Close to 2 years ago. It's still working. And they sound fine. I don't know what else I could say. You know, that's all I could say. I can't speak for anybody else because I'm not somebody else. I was going to say, I'm like, dude, it's not like I've been inundated with super chats. So, who here has, I got an interesting question for you. Who here has the Nintendo Switch OLED pre-ordered? I'm just interested to see. I got mine coming from Walmart. Had to think about where the hell I got it. I thought it was Best Buy for a second. Walmart. I did. Loud. Nope. I do. Nope. Let's see who else. I do. No. It's kind of like 60-40, so it's far. No, nope. Nope, we're going more to 50-50. Yeah, I'm mixed on if I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for the Steam Deck. That I'll fucking tell you. I'm without a doubt more excited for the Steam Deck. I think I'd be an idiot. Man, I screwed up my elbow. Right here, I screwed up my elbow, man. It's been hurting for like a week. But it really, like, it's the same CPU. You don't have to worry about. It's kind of like if you have a Switch, unless you're just a tech hoarding junkie, like I'm sure a lot of us are. It's like, okay, it's cooler. The screen's a little bigger, but you're not gaining any processor performance. You're getting double the storage. But again, this is why I always use the phrase and swear by it. Context is key, because you're getting double the storage from 32 gigabytes to 64. Ooh. You know what I mean? Even Switch games get pretty chunky, man. You know, it's not like, you know, Switch games can get pretty big, so you're still only putting like a few on there. I don't know. It's using the same Joy-Con, so you're going to have the drift issue. It's just weird. It's just a weird. That's why I still stand by that. I think that was supposed to be the Switch Pro, and they were like, yeah, we can't get the silicon for this right now due to the global pandemic. So what could we do? And didn't they say like the Switch OLED's only costing them $20 more to make? So they raise the price. It's what, $350? So they're making even more profit than they were making off the vanilla Switch. And they're not really offering that much more. Like, the Switch screen looks fine. You know, I never play my Switch and like, man, I was just playing Quake on it. And I was like, man, this screen, I just wish I had a 1080p panel, or, you know, I don't know. It's just weird. Rich, can you touch and kiss my bits? Kiss my bits. It kind of sounds like a weird, like, cereal that they would have that had like a limited run. Imagine they had a cereal that just looked like nipples. Like, it was like Fruity Loops, except they just were like shaped like nipples. So you had all these different color nipples that were all like fruity flavors. Man, I'm chewing on an orange nipple.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
God, that's so perfect. That's so perfect. I love it. I love it, man. And I watched that clip again, and I'm sorry. You could say I'm being a bully, but I just feel the same way. That seemed like a bunch of... Maybe there is a couple people in there that are genuinely enthused for the Amigo. And if anyone wants to say I'm punching down, here's what I have for you. It's on Intellivision's channel. That's where I got the clip from. So I know for a fact that I did not go to like a smaller YouTuber's channel and bully them. But they all just seemed like, oh, wow, Tommy Tellerico's asking us to seem enthused. Let's just...
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Come on, dude. You look like you're my age, maybe a little bit older, bro. I'm 40. You're really saying, you're really fucking saying that Finnegan Fox, it made your jaw hit the ground. Update on the Assyrian warranty service. They couldn't fix my laptop when I asked for it. They told me they lost it, so I'm getting my money back. Well, hey, you're getting your money back. They lost. Dude, Assyrian sucks. That, like, I'm actually very bullish on store warranties. Like, if you go to Best Buy and you get the warranty through Best Buy, I think they have some stuff with Assyrian, but if it's Best Buy's warranty, I like it. If it's GameStop's warranty, again, not through Assyrian, I like it. So I get them. But if it's Assyrian, no, I won't do it. That third-party shit. And they're incompetent, too, man. Amico is a Tesla. Juicy Booch always coming through with the stealth super chat. So, yeah, when I was watching it, I'm just like, dude, this is not... I almost feel like watching Amico shit again, but I'm afraid that Rich is actually like, how am I bullying, man? I'm just watching your fucking videos and commenting on them. I can't believe that people were saying that, including YouTubers like who may have podcasts. Like, seriously, dude? What am I playing on stream? I gotta watch because Google Fish will send me. Oh, hey, babe shits aggressively. What the fuck is this? How long is it? What the fuck is that? What is this? Hold on. No, I gotta play that shit again.
Hey, babe.
I think it's safe to say that there was blood in that man's stool. If you sound that violent, you are ripping sphincter muscle with that one. Hey, Rich, I hope you're doing well. When do you think GameStop will finally die? It's going to. I mean, people say that and they roll their eyes at me and they're like, oh, dude, come on. You know, you've been saying this since like 2013. But that's when it started slowly happening. People started buying more games via digital distribution. And I still think if they last... if they last through this generation, I'll be shocked. You know, I can't. People, I mean, you already have both companies which have digital versions, the Series S and the PS5 digital edition, where literally you have zero fucking reason, unless you're getting like a PSN gift card or a Xbox Live or whatever Game Pass card, whatever the fuck they sell. I don't buy the cards, I just sign up for the services. Why would you, some accessories, okay? You know, and it's not the console itself that they're I think, isn't it big news that Sony isn't losing money now, like on the PS5 digital edition? You know, it's not like, so it's not like there's a huge profit margin on the actual hardware. Now, they did do that interesting ace in the hole where if a Series X, they're partnering with GameStop. So if a Microsoft console is sold at GameStop, Microsoft or GameStop gets a cut of even digital games that are purchased on that console, which that's actually pretty interesting. That was like, oh, wow, that may keep them around a little bit long. Because I did a video on this. The Series consoles are catching up to the PS5, which, if you think about it from the average consumer perspective, that kind of makes sense, because you buy a Series S, you sign up for Xbox Game Pass, you have an instant library. $2.99, you spend money on a service, and you technically literally never have to buy a game a la carte ever. So it kind of and I even still think the Series S is an awesome console. Again, long term, I still have concerns. You know, I mean, it's got a less than 4 teraflop of compute performance GPU in there, but we'll see what happens, man. Maybe with FSR, they can make it last a hell of a lot longer than I'm giving it credit for. You know. The first extinction on Earth happened 440 million years ago, and 4 more happened 50 plus million years apart. Imagine how life can go if none. I don't think we'd be here. The dinosaurs would have fucking rampaged. Like, even though, you know, I'm sure our intelligence is more than theirs, the dinosaurs would have fucking ran. Herculean man slaps other man with balls.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Thoughts on the analog pocket handheld? I want to get one. I think it looks amazing. I like the screen on it. It has a dock too. I love their consoles, man. I have nothing but praise for analog. It's what a way to keep retro gaming alive and keep it relevant. You know, you put that on even if you put that on a 4K TV, because it has such a clean output from the HDMI port, it's a way to, and it's not emulation. It's field programmable. I can't talk today. Field programmable grid array, I believe, right? I got to look that up. I believe I'm using the right terminology. What does FPGA stand for? Gate array. Gate array. I said, why did I think? And basically what you could do with an FPGA, field programmable gate array, sounds like you're saying Gatorade, but you're not.
Oh yeah.
Is it you could basically program it to act, and it's not emulate, they call it simulation, not emulation, because basically what you're doing with emulation is you're taking how the hardware worked and writing code that the processor that you're writing the emulator for can translate it into something its hardware can use, and that's how you're getting the game on screen. Again, I'm not a programmer. That's something that Modern Vintage Gamer could probably explain better than me. He's actually even wrote code for emulators before, I'm pretty sure. Whereas an FPGA, it's literally simulating, like you're programming the SPC 700 that was inside the Super Nintendo. You're programming you're programming another part of the FPGA to be the picture processing unit, and then you're having the other part be the CPU, and they just become the CPU, the picture processing unit, the sound chip, and it treats the games like regular hardware would, except better, actually. Hey, handsome, how are you? Why, thank you. Wu-Tang versus Boot Camp. Wu-Tang, I would say. Boot Camp Click is good, but Wu-Tang. I think eventually Series X will outsell the PS5. I mean, I could see. I think it's going to... I still see Sony from a hardware perspective outselling Microsoft. I know that's not really a bold statement to make, but I don't think it's going to be like, oh my God, they're destroyed, that's it. You know what I mean? What did you change your name to? Hold on. Ham-scented ape nuts slaps wife. Ham-scented ape nuts? How does an ape have ham-scented nuts? Like, did an ape come over your house for Christmas dinner and there was a baked ham in there? He just smeared a sack all over it? Like, what the fuck just happened? Oh, God, stop with Soulja Boy today, man. That video was fucking ridiculous. And there were people... Someone said on the video I talked about with Activision. Now, Activision... whenever there's a Call of Duty, it's published by Activision. Call of Duty game by Activision. From Activision. Activision. Oh, yeah, Sledgehammer Games. Activision. In other trailers. They had little tiny text at the end that there was Activision. Since fucking when? And people are like, no, they said Activision was part of it. Someone wrote, I'm getting sick of this channel. Why is he lying? Oh, my God. I can't. I'm like, all right. Yeah, man, I'm lying. That's it. I'm, a company that would smear their publishing name all over. And the thing is, like I said in my video today, of course, everyone knows that Activision publishes the fucking Call of Duty games. It's like me hiding from this channel. Like, oh, gee, I wonder if Rich of Review Tech USA is actually Review Tech USA, and like I just had like another guest on. Like, everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck happened? Like, come on, man. Rich, please never change, dude. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. I'm like, no, them having in very small text at the end of the trailer for Call of Duty Vanguard is them hiding the fact that, which to me is just funny. Like, obviously everyone, it's not like it's a fledgling new franchise that they could hide under. You know, I could see if they were making a new IP and it was a new developer. Like, as soon, even if they say, thank you, Saggy Melons, I appreciate it. I could see if it was like a new developer and a new franchise and Activision was the publisher. Okay, you know, like a new IP, they could hide behind that and maybe know it would take, at least it would take a while for people to, or take a bit, I should say. It's the internet. What am I talking about? It'll take maybe a day at most. But it wouldn't be as prevalent. You can't do that with Call of Duty. Come on, man. Everyone knows that Activision, you've been publishing it, I think, since day one, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be interesting to see what happens with it. Man. I think I got like tennis elbow or something. I don't know what I did. You hear cracking too. It like hurts to touch. God, watch, I need a cast or something like that. So I don't even know what the hell's the point of hiding. Like, dude, I get it. No one right now wants to see Activision, but they know who's publishing the game. And it's still going to turn the same people off from buying it. There's, like, you just got to ride this. You made this bed, Activision. Now you got to lie in it and ride the storm. You got to ride out the storm until it's done. Not showing you're the publisher of your biggest franchise is not going to save you. You're going to go listen to the Exposed song, Seggy? You could still get tennis elbow and not play tennis. Yeah, I did something, like either lifting something or it's like right. No, right here. We're literally like right on my elbow. And when I grab with my hand, I feel it. If I squeeze, it feels better. It's not as bad as it was, but like if I pick up something heavy, I feel it. Rich's hairy, luscious ass cheeks is in the building. So this week I have a video coming of it has to be Google Fish messaging me. Yes. PC user finds condom-like finger glove inside NVIDIA. Oh, that may be a story for tomorrow. Thank you. So this week I got a weird PS5 accessories video coming. Interesting to see how that does. I should, early in the week, if it's approved, have the Hisense video up. Don't see why they wouldn't approve it. I think that was an excellent review. Hope you guys enjoy it. So I got some interesting stuff coming this week. I will buy Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. You know what's weird? I'm buying it more. I kind of think it's annoying that they're doing it, but I also want to support the developers because I want to see more. Like, that game has the combat in a game like that I've been dreaming of. Like, even when you play like the Demon's Souls remake, it's cool, but the combat it's not as satisfying as Ghost of Tsushima. I'm not even talking like that I want the game to be easier. I don't give a fuck if the game isn't easier. But it still has, even the newer Dark Souls games still have that dated combat. Like, it doesn't feel satisfying when you stab. Well, sometimes it does, but when you play Ghost of Tsushima, man, it's just like you feel like somebody getting stabbed in that game. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, oh, this is satisfying combat. Makes me want to like shut off this fucking stream right now and go play it. But then that wouldn't happen anyway because my kids are sleeping, and then they would. I guarantee you, as soon as I go to my side of the place, my daughter is going to do a backflip into my bed. Yes, I've played Bloodborne. The combat still is not as satisfying as Ghost of Tsushima. That's an amazing game. Hard as fuck. I didn't get far in it. But that game is so up my alley. Don't get it twisted. But Bloodborne's combat does not hold up to Ghost of Tsushima's. I know they're different games, and I'm not saying I want that to be... But I it's going to be interesting to see the next Souls-like game that with the next-gen hardware, if they really dig into it to make, like, that satisfying, I guess you could say, more physics-based combat. Yes, I know about Hurricane Henri. I'm, like, not in the direct path of it. I'm just going to get a bunch of fucking rain. That's really it. I'm just going to get a bunch of rain. Like, I'm checking again now. We got... Yeah, I have an aerial flood watch. I don't have a hurricane warning, thank God. Yeah, let me see. Tomorrow, showers, locally heavy rain possible, humid. Showers, locally heavy rainfall possible in the evening, humid with lows around. Yeah, so it's just going to rain a lot by me. It's not going to be, I mean, we could get flooding, which would suck. But it's not going to be like trees flying over and falling over, I hope, anyway. But it, like we're saying, like they're not, even the wind gusts, I think the max gust I may get is 30 miles an hour. I want to try, and I still haven't even booted it fucking up yet. Is Chivalry 2. I want to try that so bad. Tremendously big and tremendously wet. Just like the vagina that I like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that works too. What is this? What the fuck are you sending me? What the fuck? Warhol Chris Chan, The Lifespan of American Pop Culture. What is this? It's a book? Why is there a cucumber? Why is Warhol Chris Chan? The Lifespan of American Pop Culture or the Suppression of Reality? Someone wrote a book on Chris Chan? Has 28 reviews, too. Okay. Wait, what is this? Wait. There is a Sonichu book? Oh my God. They're actually selling a Sonichu book on Amazon? That had to be Chris Chan. He was probably looking to make money. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord? No, I haven't. Ooh, that sounds like something I may like. Me and Keemstar, I'm fine with him. I'm sure he still hates me. He never lets go. He doesn't let grudges go. Like, Keemstar will never let a grudge go. But he does his thing, I do my thing. We do our own things. So we're good. You know what I mean? So I'll try. Yeah, I want to. Rich Mountain Blade 2. Okay, I'll remember that. I'm interested to see how the Arkham combat with what in a new game. I'm actually going to take a picture of that right now because I'm too lazy to copy and paste. Plus, I'll have it in my phone so I can look more at it later. There. Well, we know. God, I feel like it was like 5 minutes ago when Arkham Knight came out. Remember that was such a shit show for PC? Initially, anyway. Had a bunch of issues and a lot of people were pissed off at that. God, that feels like yesterday. I remember running Benchmark. That Benchmark sucked, too. Yeah, I remember at the time I had a Beast PC and it still didn't run good on there. Yeah, the 8th generation. I mean, I guess this happens as time goes quicker as you get older. But I feel like the 8th... Dude, I remember literally... And it was really like, it was a mixture of excitement too, because yeah, the next gen consoles were coming out. Obviously I was excited, but that was the first year. It was like perfect timing, and I didn't even think about it. I just was a lucky idiot. It was perfect timing to start full-timing YouTube, because I am a tech / gaming / whatever the fuck I want channel. And it was we were on going from the 7th gen to the 8th gen, and we were just going to go into the 8th gen. I remember going to Best Buy at midnight and getting a Xbox One and a PlayStation 4. Yeah, the new Suicide Squad game. Okay. That's like a spin-off of the Arkham games. Yeah, I heard about that. I really don't think it's a big deal. Like, is anyone shocked that he is successful and makes a lot of money with what he does? He's one of the biggest fucking streamers on the platform, man. You know, I mean, I do good with my streams that average anywhere from like 600 to 1,000 people. What does he have? Like fucking 30,000 in his stream? I can imagine the dough that dude is making, man. I can imagine what that guy's fucking making. And the thing about him saying eating the rich is that people take shit black and white. And I'm not defending him, man. He made that stupid comment about us deserving 9/11, which was fucking awful. And I know he has a lot of other hot takes that aren't my cup of tea. But when he said eat the rich, he was talking about the guys who manipulate the fucking system and do unethical things like the crony capitalism. He's not talking about, like, say, for example, if Ryan Brantley starts a YouTube channel and gets 10 million subs in a month and starts making 2 million a month on YouTube. Like, that's good. That's great that shit like that happens. You know? Just came all over my iPad watching you and that sexy bird. It was a big, thick load. Hope you're doing well. I have quality, family-friendly content.
I don't give a shit!
Yes.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
I will never. I will change every other sound in this soundboard, but
My jaw's hitting the ground.
ain't going anywhere. Yes, I like the game Sleeping Dogs quite a bit. Yeah, I do. I like that. They remade that for 8th gen consoles too. I remember that game always reminds me when it first came out for PC. I built with my older parts, and I had like a, what was it? It was a DirectX 11 card, but it was like an old AMD card. Let me see if I could find that. We should watch that video. Let me see if I could find that. That would be interesting. Let me see. Review Tech USA AMD Gaming PC review. It's like a really old video. That would be interesting to watch, man. The best. No. Yes, a budget. This is from 8 years ago. Let's watch this shit, son. I'm gonna have to switch my settings up, actually. Have you or Carlos play? No, I haven't. I saw gameplay. It doesn't look like my kind of game. This video is, let's see the high-end production value I had back in the day. You ready for this? Your jaw is gonna hit the ground with this. Let me change the desktop audio properties. USB audio device and sound settings. USB audio device. All right, let's check it again.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Yes. Fix that.
My jaw's hitting the ground. My jaw's hitting the ground.
All right, now sorry, I had to get some of the corrosion off of there. It's weird how that works. God, we gotta look. Wait till you see this thumbnail. Wait till you see this amazing thumbnail. Look at this thumbnail. This was my 5th grade caliber thumbnails right here. Look at these. Look at that. Just an orange backdrop, my old ass logo, and The Newegg logo on the fucking case. Oh, Rich. Rich. How are you here, bro? How are you here? How?
Skip it up and that up.
Whoa.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time
Here we go. Here we go. Shake-a-vision. Shake-a-vision, baby.
to benchmark the budget spare parts gaming PC that I built. I got some new Patriot RAM from Newegg to replace the G-Skill RAM I had in here that was bad. It's 100%. It's fully functional. And this
Oh, Rich, you liked your own video. Did you really? Did you really like your own video, bro? God, this is from soon to be 9 years ago. I sound 9 years younger.
machine performs
I sound like a kid.
very well. I wanted to put this video together to prove to people out there who may be new to PC gaming.
Why wouldn't I point the camera at me? I don't get it. Like, what was I doing? Like, tripods existed back then, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or interested in PC gaming, that you don't need to spend a lot of money to get an awesome experience.
Okay, first off, I'm going to go over what components are in the system.
please say that you show the components and don't just sit there with a low-res JPEG. Please don't tell me. Or why don't you film the fucking PC, dude? Like, what would... What the fuck?
And we have an Athena Power ATX mid-tower computer case. We have an
Thea? Are they like even... Went and watched about 20 of your first videos the other day. You've come a long way. Yeah, I have. Who makes this motherboard?
Asus M5
Asus motherboard. Look like a Gigabyte one by the colors, but okay.
A78L-M LX Plus AM3 Plus AMD motherboard, an MSI Radeon HD 6770
6770. It's kind of strange how we're coming back around full circle. Aren't we in the 6000 cards again with AMD? Look at that VGA port on there, man. Even in 2012, like VGA was, is that a mini HDMI? It doesn't look like a full fat HDMI. At least they gave you an HDMI though. Or is that display port? I can't tell. It's too low res, and I'm too fucking. I don't know. I have a small dick.
1 GB video card, and
1 gigabyte, man. You wouldn't be able to play a fucking game with that thing now. Well, or maybe you could, like, at low settings in 720p with everything. This is when it was, like, somewhat necessary to have a optical drive.
an LG DVD burner, 8 GB of
For burning all those DVDs that you're going to not use now.
Corsair Vengeance RAM, a cool
How much RAM? How much RAM did I put back then? How much RAM? No. Don't just skip over the RAM, sir. Don't just skip over the RAM. Why? Where is the goddamn RAM?
an LG DVD burner, 8 GB of Corsair Vengeance RAM,
Yeah, 8 gigabytes for a budget quote-unquote rig back then was fair. I now think that was like the bare minimum in my mind back. People were making fucking rigs on YouTube in like 2016. Oh, you could get away with 4 gigabytes. Get the fuck out of here. You get away with 4 gigabytes of RAM. No. Like, that was the minimum for me back then. Just like if I make a rig now that's like mid-range, it's 16 gigs now.
RAM, a Cooler Master 600 watt power supply. Now in my rig I have an AMD Phenom 2 X4 970, but that part seems
That was the chip I had for a long time. You know what I mean? That was my workhorse chip for a long time, man. But I remember when I went up to the 3770K. Yeah. Or 3770K. I believe. I don't know. But there was the Ivy Bridge i7. What a jump. Still wasn't as big of a jump when I went to the 8-core 5960X chip from Intel, but it was a big enough jump.
to be discontinued, so what I put in the description below, what I linked to on Newegg.com, is the AMD Phenom 2 X4 965. They are the exact same processor.
Just clocked a little slower, if I remember.
The 965 is just underclocked 100 megahertz. It's only 3.4 gigahertz. My processor's 3.5. It's 100 megahertz difference. It's negligible. And if you want to overclock at 100 megahertz, you're more than welcome to. And the last component is a Samsung 320 gigabyte hard drive.
Oh, so small.
All of these components add up to a grand total of 4.
Oh, wow, I used the Zelda thing? Really? When, like, Link holds up this sword?
$123 US. Now keep in mind 3 things. Prices on PC parts constantly fluctuate, so it depends on when you're watching this video. If you click the newegg.com links below, the PC parts could be cheaper,
Or they just see, like, this is the point, Rich, where you would show your face so people aren't bored shitless.
they could be more expensive. The second thing is the power supply from newegg.com has a rebate, so it's going to be initially more expensive than I said in this video.
Did you go for an 80 plus ones? 80 plus certified ones? Sir, you didn't mention that.
So make sure you print out your rebate and send it in so you could save yourself the money. The third and final thing is I had a copy of Windows 7 laying around. You may not, so that will cost you an extra $100. A lot of people who make PC builds conveniently don't remember this, so they can make the price seem more enticing so they can get more views.
That was true, and still is sometimes true. I mean, now you could get legitimate keys for much, and Microsoft doesn't really care. They just want you on Windows. But there was a time where Windows 7 was costly. And people would just, oh yeah, you need an operating system. Oops, conveniently forgot to put that in the thumbnail or the title of the video, because they knew the lower price gives people boners.
I'm going to be honest and mention it to you. If you don't have a copy of Windows laying around, you're going to need to buy it. So that's going to jack up the price a little bit. Okay,
That's
so
true.
those are the components I used to make this PC build. Now let's get into some benchmarks.
Okay, folks, we are back down at
Here's this quality footage
the
again.
budget gaming PC, and we are going to run 3 benchmarks. The first one's going to be Sleeping Dogs 2. Then we're going to run Dirt 3.
Yeah, why did I say Sleeping Dogs too?
And then we're going to run the Batman Arkham City benchmark and see how well this machine performs. Let's get started. I just want to show you the settings with Sleeping Dogs real quick. Everything is maxed out. Let's see if I can find my mouse here. Except for anti-aliasing, because at 1080p, you don't need...
I miss Windows 7. Weird to be sentimental over an OS. I'm like that with Windows XP. Windows XP brings back a lot of good memories. You know? Like just that when you have that rolling hill and the dun 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 dun. Anyway, so yeah, I still hold to that. Like if you're on a cheaper rig or if you have like a mid-range setup, especially now if you're like at 1440p or at 4K, if you're looking to save some resources, just turn off anti-aliasing, man. It's such a, you know what I mean? Especially if you're like at like beyond 1080p. Like, jaggies really are not that big of a deal. You'll see them. And yes, if you have the horsepower to put on some kind of AA, sure, do it. But my programming teacher showed us this video in high school. This video? Mine? What did he say? This is how not to fucking put a PC together? Like, what did he say?
need to use anti-aliasing because the resolution's high enough so you won't get jaggies. But again, everything is maxed out.
Did I say a 1080p? No, 1080p you still need anti-aliasing, Rich. At least like FXAA. Stop.
I'll show you if you can see. And we're going to run a benchmark. So
But again, with this rig, I do agree. If you're going to turn something down, turn down the AA, you know?
let's get started.
This game is a badass game still to this day.
Again, this is running in 1080p. I'm not doing any lower resolutions. And VSync is off so we could actually see what
Why
frame
don't
rate.
you show the top of the fucking screen? Show the
this
FPS!
game is running at. I also have the high resolution texture pack for Sleeping Dogs enabled right now.
Yeah, that was a thick... That Vizio died.
I downloaded that.
That was when Vizio was like not the Vizio that we know now. Oh, he said for beginners, this is great. Okay, yeah, well, I still at the time, yeah, I agree.
Via Steam.
You know, I don't agree with this cinematography. I would never release of, like, Like, it's funny. I can, like, man, I wish I had, like, a red camera or something when I was filming the TV review. But it still came out pretty good. Like, looking back at this shit, like, like my TV review when it comes out is going to look like Scorsese directed it compared to this shit. What is going on here? What is going on? Why don't you put your fucking camera on a tripod? Like, tripods were, like, they... Even back in Best Buy back then, the same Best Buy I go to now, there were tripods like coming out everywhere. They had like tripods in the fucking refrigerators that you could buy. Like, use a tripod. Like, I cannot believe this level of laziness here.
Step back for a second. I do apologize.
I don't even know if it's laziness or fucking stupidity. Like, what is going on?
About the Handycam, but I have this on my living room monitor.
Is that a 360 next to it? No, it's a butt plug.
Because my actual editing monitor, my main monitor, is only 720p. And I wanted to show how
Oh, that does not look smooth, son.
this AMD Radeon 6770 performs at full.
I'm roasting myself right now, god damn it. God damn right I'm roasting myself. The fuck? Anyway, sorry.
1080p. Most people want to see that when they see benchmarks anyway.
Hey, at least you're showing the whole screen now, DSP. Congratulations.
As you see through the video right now, it's not showing, you know, the frame.
Yeah, I can never roast DSP for his fire alarm video again. This is almost as bad. Wow, I forgot how awful that. What was I thinking?
Frames per second. It's running smooth.
God, I remember that wireless keyboard, man. That was old back in 2012. That thing, I don't even know if that thing's still around anymore.
It was funny. I didn't realize I had anti
The mouse pad on that thing is like as big as my nipple.
aliasing on before, and it ran really choppy. But again, it's a budget video card. A lot of times with anti-aliasing, they do run choppy, but at this high resolution, you don't need it. So everything else is maxed out, and this game looks gorgeous. I had this for the console too, and it looks a lot better.
Oh
on PC.
God, it's so
All right, let's see what we
cringe.
got. Average FPS is 42.3 frames a second,
Which for this game back then was good, man.
which is amazing for the price range this desktop gaming PC is in. Maximum was 102 frames per second.
The funniest thing is this PC now, minus running an operating system, wouldn't run shit. I wish I still had this PC now just for funsies, and ran benchmarks with like 3 modern games. It wouldn't run shit.
Second, I don't think that's right though. Minimum was 22.6, and like I said, you can see here, anti-aliasing is
High.
on, but it's off. Enable high-res textures on. Shadow resolution, the whole 9 is on. So
Amazing cinematography. I'm getting hard.
42.3 frames per second is more than playable. Let's go on to the next benchmark. Okay, we are now in the Dirt 3 benchmark. I'll show you that everything is maxed out.
Dirt 3. I mean, okay, it's cool, but it's a racing game. Racing games are never known for being... Actually, Dirt 5. That's the newest one, right? You run the benchmark on there. That could be pretty punishing if you max everything out.
Once again, the only thing off is VSync and anti-aliasing. Everything
The only thing off in this fucking video is image stabilization, too. Holy fuck.
else is on the highest setting it can go to.
Why did I think this was
Now we're gonna run
okay?
the benchmark.
This is still a good-looking game.
This is a pretty fun benchmark to watch too. Like usually I don't do like if I did benchmarking for my channel solely, I wouldn't show you the actual benchmarks being run. But this is kind of fun for people who are new to PC gaming or interested in it. You'll get to see that this.
Yeah, show the benchmark with the camera shaking all over. I can't believe it. I was, 31 when I made this? Like, 31-year-old Rich was a fucking clown.
Budget PC runs these games smoothly. It's not going to show the frame rate in the actual benchmark until the end, but as you're seeing now, It runs the game great. We have all the particle effects going on. Everything's maxed out.
Don't show 'em the whole
Gorgeous
thing.
lighting effects.
Why
there's
are
no
you really
upscaling
going to
here,
show
so
them?
It's actually running in native 1080p.
Okay,
Right,
good. Thank
so
God.
Total number of frames. If I could talk today.
It's actually not that great. For a racing game, you want 60, even back. Did Dirt 3 run at 60 or 30 on the 360? I don't even remember.
Is 3,561. Average FPS is a more than playable 36.27. And minimum, I think that was honestly because my hard drive ran in a certain spot, was 28.96.
That did happen quite a bit. That I remember that used to piss me off with Benchmark. You would see like the hard drive light up because I guess maybe it was loading an asset or something, and like all of a sudden the frame rate would just drop to like 0 for a billionth of a second. It would fuck up your averages. Well, dude, it was, you had a 1 gigabyte a low end card. Yeah, I mean, and it averaged at that, so it was above 30. So yeah, it's playable. I don't remember if it ran at I don't remember if it
So everything maxed out.
if it ran at 60 or 30 on the consoles. I think it ran at 30.
Running in native 1080p, no upscaling, you are getting over 30 frames per second average. More than playable, and this game is gorgeous and a lot of fun too. Let's move on to the final benchmark, Batman Arkham City. Okay, so awesome. My camera crashed and froze right in the middle of filming the Batman Arkham City benchmark. So we're going to...
I think I remember that. Isn't it weird how you remember random shit? What the hell camera did I have? I think it was like a Sanyo. Sanyo or some garbage.
Now, once again, all the settings, like the other two games, are maxed out in Batman Arkham City. All the DirectX 11 features are maxed out. Everything is as high as it can go. The only thing I have turned off is anti-aliasing. So let's see.
I know, the video's almost done. I'm just interested to
how
see.
Batman Arkham City performs on our budget gaming PC. Okay, so right now
This
we're
is
at
when
an average
NVIDIA
of 44
This is when NVIDIA was still pushing physics. This had a physics option, if I remember correctly.
frames per second.
Physics is fucking dead now.
Now down to 39 frames per second average. Now this is a AMD card, so you're not going to get the physics effects that you would get with an NVIDIA card with.
Because all that was like glass they were showing the physics with, and there was supposed to be particle effects on the ground. I don't even think they do anything with... They haven't done shit with physics for years.
You got like floating paper around, and you're going to miss out on those features.
Yes, that's an IBM keyboard. Or I think it's an IBM, but it's an old-ass keyboard.
But we're at 41 frames per second average. This is a very demanding game, and it's actually poorly optimized for DirectX 11 cards. All right.
Guess that's tessellation there they were
That
showing.
plant chokes up a lot of machines I've benchmarked with Batman Arkham City, but we are still at 38
This
frames
part.
per second. Went down 1 frame per second.
More
Going around
tessellation.
the line right now.
That's when tessellation was like what DirectX is now. Like, oh wow, your card can handle tessellation. Aren't you just the bird? I don't know. I couldn't think of anything here. Fuck off.
Let's show off some tessellation. And we're still at 38 frames per second, and the benchmark is done right now. Benchmark complete. Average a more than playable 38 frames per second in Batman Arkham City at 1080p with everything maxed out. Once again, the broken record guy is going to say except for anti-aliasing. So alright folks, we did the 3 benchmarks, and now it's time for me to give you my final thoughts.
So here is concrete evidence.
Alright, we know budget gaming PCs are not bad. That was especially when they started, like, really becoming viable. Yeah, I remember that was, and I remember I sold that to, you know, it's funny. I wasn't there anymore, but I sold it. I remained friends with a guy who worked at Radio Shack. He bought that PC. I remember that. He bought that PC, man. I remember that. But yeah, I mean, it is true. You know, budget gaming was even viable back then. Now that rig couldn't run shit, though. But, I mean, that was buckling under the AAA games of 2012. So, you know, obviously it wasn't good. It's not going to run Doom Eternal. Did you get hurricane? No, we're not. We're going to get a lot of rain. We aren't going to get, like, the most wind we're going to get is, like, 30 miles an hour, which could still, you know, cause some damage. But, yeah, it's crazy, dude. It, like, makes me look at, like, the review I did for the TV. I know I mentioned this when I first started. Like, I complain about that. Like, oh, man, I wish I had a whole room so I could do, like, all the lights and all the setup. It's... like I said, it looks like Scorsese directed it. I'm not saying it's great. I mean, a Linus Tech Tip video will destroy my video any day of the week. But compared to, I did come a long way from this stuff, man. You know? Go grab some soap when it starts. It just, yeah, I can't believe, like, Long Island's getting blasted. Massachusetts getting blasted. Connecticut's going to get hit because they're east. It's going to be pretty brutal, man. You know, but yeah, it's just interesting to check this stuff out. See if there's another one. Probably. I think I got more. My history with PC gaming. No, who gives a shit about that? Oh, I did this 4 years ago.
You don't have to.
You don't have to sell your ass for a I remember this intro. Here we go. That's a way to start a video, huh? More time. When did I make this one? When did I make this gem? 2017. Wasn't that long ago. Rich, tomorrow, what are you doing? Being with my kids, actually. And it's going to be pouring. So.
Sell your ass for a gaming PC!
All right there, Tourette's guy.
Skip it up and that up. What's up, you sexy people?
Oh, no, I did gameplay. Again. How am I still here doing this? How? How am I still here doing this, man? Hey, Rich, I'm 21. I've been following you ever since your video about a father making his son destroy his dad. Congrats on how far you've made it, man. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate it. That's a long time ago. That was like 2013, I think. No, 2015, I think. But still a long-ass time ago, so thank you.
But we're doing something a little...
This was like some double... I think I had this on Steam.
...bit different in this video. I actually put together a budget game.
Oh, God, I remember driving to a park to do this. I remember this, too. This was like in the middle of nowhere.
Gaming rig. I'm talking like super budget. I'm talking it's cheaper than a PS4 Slim. I'm talking the entire PC is a little bit cheaper than people spend just on.
Yeah, but there were some... Here is the thing about... There was an asterisk that I kind of missed with this video. Is that there were some instruction sets, even around that time, that the chipset in here couldn't execute. So some games like Destiny 2, I think, wouldn't have ran well in here.
On a graphics card. In US dollars, it was around $240. And you know what? It could game pretty damn...
I mean, this is a hell of a lot better than the video before. It's a hell of a lot better than that. So I'll give slightly future Rich this, or slightly less from the past Rich this one.
My jaw's hitting the ground. Well, it's not perfect, but for the price, it's pretty astonishing what this budget gaming rig can do. So my first stop was to eBay to pick up a cheap-ass...
Yeah, this is much better, much more tolerable.
Desktop PC. A lot of times,
these PCs you see on eBay are quote-unquote refurbished.
Yeah, pretty much. That is true.
And they're desktops that come from under desks of libraries and offices.
Why am I playing Double Dragon? Oh, man.
And just places of work. Because what happens is, like, companies like Dell and HP, they make more money off of services than they do off actually selling computers.
That's actually true, too. That's why, you know, Grandma the librarian could still be fucking doing everything she needs to do on a computer with a Pentium 2, but Dell's like, oh wow, your yearly service or like they'll like have the computers under warranty for like 1 or 2 years, and you know, like, oh, it's time to upgrade. And Grandma Phyllis the librarian's like, what do I need to upgrade for? And they're like, well, you have to, or else you'll be out of. We won't keep you in warranty. And if the computer breaks, you're fucked. Oh, okay. I guess I'm getting a Core i7, whatever they are, 10700K, because Grandma needs that to send emails. You know, so it is true. So a lot of these machines, that's why you go on eBay, and eBay is fucking flooded with these computers. And the reason they're flooded with these computers is because they don't know what the fuck else to do with them, so they want to make some money. They want to recoup something on them. You should react to everything that had to go wrong for Grizzly Man to meet his demise video by Weird History. It is weird and educational somewhere. Yes, possibly, but not tonight. But yes.
So a lot of times, you know, Grandma Phyllis that's 70 years old that works at your
Oh wow, I use the same analogy.
Your kid's primary school, she doesn't need to have a quad.
But it's true though.
i5 under her desk to send out friggin' emails or type up documents or whatever the case may be. But what Dell or HP will do is go, oh, so you've had that Core i5 2400 PC under your desk for about 5 years. Well, guess what? The contract's up on it. That's a sad day for you. So if something goes wrong, you're going to have to pay for the part.
It is true.
Or you could just renew your contract with us and we'll make a shit ton of money. And in the end, it actually gets cheaper for you because if one thing fails on that PC, it'll end up being more expensive. Just
same exact analogy, but it's true.
And that's what they do to you. They corner offices and schools and even corporations to renewing the contract and getting overpowered hardware they really don't need when to be.
I don't know why there's gameplay.
Perfectly
I don't.
honest, a lot of the places that are typing up documents and just surfing the web and sending out emails could have a friggin' Pentium D computer and be more than fine. Now, what former office PC
The fuck is going on here? Oh, I know where that was.
that is now a misfit computer that I picked from eBay. I actually picked up the HP 6005 MT desktop. This thing's rocking an AMD Phenom 2 X4 V95 processor. That's a quad-core processor running at 3 gigahertz. It came with 4 gigabytes of RAM, which I removed and upgraded to better RAM. Has a 500 gigabyte.
How much RAM did you upgrade it with, Rich?
Hard drive. And it came with Windows 7 Pro, which I upgraded to Windows 10. And fun fact, I didn't realize this till I started actually recording the voiceover for this video, and I'm kicking
You upgraded it to better RAM. What is the better RAM?
myself right now. If you don't register Windows 10, it's still fully functional. That wasn't the case with Windows 8 and Windows 7 and Windows XP. Windows 10, yes, you won't be able to change the cosmetics, and they'll give you reminders that you should register Windows 10, but you don't have to, and it'll be fully functional. I didn't know that, and that would have saved me a lot of money in the past, because I've spent...
I'm going to guess it was 8 gigabytes for the price of this thing. I'm going to guess 8 gigs.
a lot of money on Windows 10 keys. Yeah. So why did I choose an old-ass AMD
I upgraded. You don't say the RAM. Jesus, you fail.
Phenom 2 desktop PC from HP to turn into a gaming rig? Well, there's two reasons. One, it's a quad-core processor. I know there's going to be a lot of people screaming in the comments, Rich, you could get a Pentium dual-core, a newer one. You can get it dirt cheap.
What was
it's per-core performance.
What was the GPU?
Phenom, and you're right. Quad-core processor running at 3 gigahertz. It came with 4 gigabytes of RAM, which I removed and upgraded to better RAM. Has a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and it came with Windows 7 Pro, which I upgraded to Windows 10. And fun fact, I didn't realize...
What did I not talk about?
Problem. Now, your processor should be a quad-core processor, period. Maybe like Pentium, which actually has hyper-threading. We're having an i3, which has hyper-threading.
Sorry.
Don't work well, and some don't work at all with dual processor. I know there's going to be a lot of people screaming in the comments,
Sorry.
Rich, you could get a Pentium dual core, a newer one. You can get it dirt cheap, and its per core performance blows away the Phenom, and you're right. But here's the problem. Nowadays, there are a decent amount of games that don't work well, and some don't work at all with dual core processors. They want 4 physical cores. Not even hyper-threaded cores. They want 4 physical cores there. So sometimes even having the new KB Lake Pentium, which actually has hyper-threading, we're having an i3, which
Far Cry 4 in the beginning wouldn't run with a dual core processor. They had to patch it later, and people made a patch, I think, too.
has hyper-threading. That won't save you. There's some games, I always think of Far Cry 4 as a perfect example.
Well, quad core sucks now, but quad core was still tolerable back then, and I was right. Like, dual cores were not acceptable. People were still pushing dual cores. Again, people always push the limits of how cheap. No, dude, you need it. Like, back then, even I think in 2017, people were making gaming PC builds. Like, oh, look, at a super cheap build. Like, yeah, that's 4 gigabytes of RAM, man. That thing is going to fucking... In 6 months, that thing is going to be useless, let alone, like, no, anyway.
When it first came out, did not work with any kind of dual-core processor. So, I rather have...
Hey there, BDSM man. What the what is that boss?
Where each core underperforms compared to, like, a dual-core Pentium than have a dual-core processor. That's just the way I am. I rather... nowadays, the year 2017...
I slowed down that footage too much.
Your processor should be a quad-core processor. Period. End of discussion. I know there are people that will disagree with me, but hey, that's just how I feel. Secondly, this computer was cheap. Before shipping, and this is where the seller got me, before shipping, the PC was only $64.99. The processor, the AMD Phenom 2, the B95, sells on eBay for around $36. So for not even
damn, the processor was more than half of the price of the PC.
double the price, you got a whole functioning computer with the hard drive, with RAM, and it was all set and ready to go. All I had to do with this rig was install the new RAM that I got, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, install the graphics card, and that's it. I was good to go. The only catch to this seller was...
I do talk about the RAM. All right, I'm not that terrible of a human being.
Charge $31 for shipping. And hey, you could return the PC if you wanted to, if there was an issue with it, but the buyer has to pay shipping, and there's a 15% restocking fee.
Oh, yeah, they fucked you, huh?
So what
I never had to return it, though.
But it doesn't matter. The PC, I got it, and it worked fine. So anyway, moving on. And I got to keep it real with you. There's another reason I picked this PC is because I was curious. The Phenom 2 processors have a soft spot in my heart because that was the processor I had for years, man. I had Phenoms for years until I finally switched over to Intel.
Well, you know, at least you know I'm telling the truth because I'm telling the same goddamn story.
In late 2012 or early 2013. My Phenom processor, obviously not in this build, I had a Phenom 2 X4 970 Black Edition. And that thing, that was my baby, man. That was the processor I used to edit YouTube videos, even up to 1080p. It started struggling with 1080p, but it did handle it. And, you know, that was my budget.
It did struggle, though. It fucking struggled.
Performer. I did a bunch of gaming on it, did a bunch of editing on it, and that I used AMD for years. And I was curious, after being away from AMD as my main rig, I should say, being away from using it as my gaming and workhorse rig, how the Phenom 2 processors hold up now in the year 2017 with current gen gaming. So I kind of approached this build in a masochistic way.
Oh, shit.
Like, okay, let me see what
quality gaming right there, isn't it?
This old ass AMD processor can do with modern games. I was just kind of had a morbid curiosity to see what an AMD Phenom 2 processor can do currently, so I have to make that confession. So these specs of this AMD Phenom 2 B95 aren't anything special. Like I said, it's a quad-core processor, has 2 megabytes of L2 cache, has 6 megabytes of L3 cache, and it'll support natively DDR2 memory running at 1066 megahertz or DDR3 memory running at 1333 megahertz. As the Phenom 2 processors were compatible with socket AM2 Plus motherboards, which were the older motherboards, which only work with DDR2 memory, and it also worked with socket AM3 motherboards,
AM3
DDR3 memory. So that was one nice thing
No, it's not a bad game.
Not
It's
the Phenom 2 is that it was backwards and forwards compatible. So if you had an older AM2
remember that game? I think it was Double Dragon Neon.
plus motherboard and you just wanted to upgrade your processor.
That game
inside of
sucked.
it to a
It's hard as hell
Phenom
too.
2, you could do that, and all you had to do was plop in the processor. You could keep your old DDR2 memory and not change anything else. So that was smart thinking by AMD. Now, one of the first things I wanted to upgrade in this PC is the memory. It came with 4 gigabytes, and 4 gigabytes is not enough for current gen gaming. I know there are channels out there that try to convince people.
2 times. Yeah, okay. So I did 8K. Yeah, that's about what I would
You
expect.
can get by with 4 gigabytes of RAM in a very budget gaming PC, but I don't agree at all. As a matter of fact, I think 8 gigabytes is the bare minimum that you should have. Yes, I know if you put...
God, I remember we're filming in that room. Wow, this is bringing back weird memories, man.
4 gigabytes of RAM in a budget gaming PC, it brings down the price, and the lower price point in the subject of a YouTube video will get you more clicks, but it's just not practical. 8 gigabytes is the bare minimum. So I got 8 gigabytes of mushkin.
Thank God his tits hurt.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
That's a good combo. This is another good combo.
I don't
You're
give
getting
a
Grandpa
shit.
excited.
I fucked that up.
You're getting Grandpa excited.
I don't give a shit.
Damn it, I fucked that up.
Enhanced DDR3 memory running at 1600 megahertz. Now, granted, the AMD Phenom 2 that's in this PC will only run the memory at 1333 megahertz, but at $39.99 US dollars, this 8 gigabytes of RAM was a steal.
I think RAM was going through a price, or was starting to go through, because we were building up to another crypto boom back then. So yeah.
It was a really good price, so I picked it up. Now, the part that I know you guys are all dying.
Oh wow, look, Rich doing panning here, kids. Rich doing panning.
Good.
Whoa, Gabe, that good is loud. Gaben.
For me to talk about what graphics card
Look
did
at
you
Rich.
get for this budget gaming rig, Rich. I got the Zotac GeForce GTX 1050 Mini, not the 1050 Ti, the 1050 Mini, because I wanted to keep the price down, and I just had a feeling that the older processor
That has 2 gigs of GDDR5 in there, I believe.
that's in this PC wouldn't really take advantage of the more power that the 1050 Ti had to offer. Now, the GTX 1050 comes with 2 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory, and like its older sibling, the 750 Ti, it also has 640 CUDA cores, where the GTX 1050 outclasses the
Why did I
GTX 750
pause?
Ti.
Why did I pause? To burp. I have no idea why I just did that.
Is that it has a faster memory speed at 7 gigabits per second as opposed to 5.4.
And it's based
gigabits
on
per second
Pascal
on the 750
architecture.
Ti, and it has a boost clock of 1455 megahertz as opposed to only 1085 megahertz on the 750 Ti.
Yeah, it was a moderately more capable card than a 750 Ti. 750 Ti, would that come out in 2013 as well? I think. 24, I don't remember.
GTX 1050 also
Long
runs
time
on
ago.
the Pascal architecture, whereas the 750 Ti runs on the Maxwell architecture, which is NVIDIA's older technology. So what did all these parts cost me in total to put together to make this super budget desktop
Tell us, Richard.
gaming PC? Well, the pre-built machine, the HP 6005 MT that I got off of eBay, I'm going to include shipping in that price because the fact that it was standard shipping, so the seller, no matter where he sent it to in the States, was still going to charge the $30. With shipping, that was $95.94. The graphics card, the Zotac GeForce.
This actually wasn't this was a decently edited video. I still think I should have shown my face, though. It wasn't like I was shy showing my face, even though I was much fatter than I am now.
GTX 1050 Mini was $109.99, and the 8 gigs of 1600 megahertz Mushkin RAM was $39.99 US dollars. Now,
I didn't turn off the motion blur in the video. Like, what was it called? It was sampling. If you turn it, I didn't turn it off in Vegas. I could tell by the way the footage looks.
the graphics card and RAM, I'm not going to include tax and shipping because that's going to vary no matter where you come from. So they may have free shipping options. They may have.
I want to
more
see what I
expensive shipping
benchmarked.
options if you want to get the parts quicker. Tax from state to state is going to vary. There's some
BDSM man is back. And we got metal plate tits here.
Places where you get it shipped to where you will not be taxed. So that's going to be all.
His abdomen is exposed, but his breasts are safe.
Over the place. So the price of the computer is going to fluctuate. It may be cheaper than the $245.92 I spent on it, or maybe a little bit more expensive. So prepare to spend anywhere from like $230 to $260 to put this PC together if you want to get the same parts that I got to make this build. So all right, Rich, we get it. Blah, 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 blah. Numbers, 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 parts, parts, parts. But how does this cheap-ass budget gaming rig
Yeah, you could have gotten to this like 3 minutes ago at least, but okay.
actually perform? Show us some benchmarks. You guys want benchmarks? I'll show you some benchmarks. Let's see how this PC actually holds together. Also, a quick thing that I need to mention that's really important.
This is true, because if you don't mention this when you show clean gameplay footage, everyone thinks, oh, he's using in-PC software, so it's going to decrease the performance. I'm like, no, man, I'm using an external capture card. So it doesn't that is standalone. It just records right to the SD card. So it's not it's recording it itself. The computer has nothing to do with it.
All of the gameplay footage you're about to see was recorded using an AverMedia Live Gamer Portable 2 in its PC free mode. It's an awesome
Damn, they're still selling that thing. Milk that thing, AverMedia.
capture card. I'll have an Amazon link below in the description if you want to pick one up for yourself. So point being is that capturing this footage put zero stress on this budget gaming rig. Let's get into it.
Oh, I did royalty-free music. Unigine Heaven benchmark 1080p resolution, ultra quality, extreme tessellation, no AA. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Tom Clancy's The Division, 1080p, medium quality, DX11. Average. That's not bad. Shit. Oh, then I did DirectX 12. I may give it a little boost in performance, like 0.3 of a frame. Man, I could rock out to this. Makes me want to smack my ass rhythmically. Mountain Peak, that was Rise of the Tomb Raider, 1080p, high quality. Overall score, that's not bad. Not bad. You heard Soldier Carlos was the CEO of PlayStation. Did he show you his contract where it had a bunch of, if Sony was making crypto tokens? What a ridiculous, entertaining story that I'm so happy that not only do I enjoy talking about it, I get to make money off of it too. I would find this story interesting even if I wasn't doing YouTube. It's great. Oh man, thank you for the ad revenue, Soldier Boy. I appreciate it. Thank you for the absolute hilarity. I appreciate it. I made 1 million. 1 million. Even though yesterday I said it made 140 million. I got 1 million. Dude, even like the market cap of their fucking token is 56 million. Like, overall score. Okay. DirectX 12, it improves it a little bit again. Oh, I remember using I remember doing this bed. This was a pain in the ass. I remember using Fraps. I was using Fraps built-in software, which actually to me was a little bit more intuitive than fucking MSI. I hate MSI Afterburner benchmarking with that shit. It's the most unintuitive, unuser-friendly piece of fucking software. Look at that frame. Look at that screen tear there. Ooh, Rich. That is some tearing screen. Man, that is like one frame is like from a different year, let alone a different frame. Average 62. I think this was a CPU bottleneck with this game, if I remember correctly. Average was 38. I mean, Battlefield 1, 720. Yeah, this I think this is going to prove it was a CPU bottleneck. I remember correctly. Yeah. See, look, it doesn't really change the frame rate. It was the CPU that was actually holding back for this game. Battlefield 1 is being bottlenecked by the CPU.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Thank you for having to say that in we know, Rich. You just, well, actually, I would probably still do something like that now. Doom 1080p, medium quality, OpenGL 4.5. This I'm interested in. Average. Yeesh. I wonder if, did I do, was Vulkan out at this time? We'll find out. Oh, running Doom and Vulkan showed negligible performance gains. Ah, this CPU is already really showing its age at this time. Obviously, changing the settings resolution did very little to the performance as well.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I think that this budget $240-esque gaming rig, I keep on saying round about 240 bucks because it could be more expensive, could be less expensive depending on where you're
I gotta stop repeating myself. I have a habit of doing that now to this day.
from. Did awesome. I'm pretty blown away as to how this rig performed. I mean, like I showed a couple.
God, I love this game.
Couple examples with doing the organic benchmarks with Doom and Battlefield 1, and those were just the exceptions that didn't run.
Well, it runs at 30. I thought actually Last Light ran okay on there, but it runs at 30. You know, I mean, that's one thing I got to say about the Aya Neo. I'm looking at it right now. Like, it's cool. That could actually run Metro Exodus pretty good.
Run great. They were playable, but they didn't run ideal on this rig. But I also ran an organic benchmark on Dying Light in this section here where there's a lot of zombies, so it puts a decent amount of stress on the CPU. I ran it at 1080p at the balanced preset, and I got a minimum of 34 frames per second, a maximum of 65, and an average of 48 frames per second, which is more than playable.
Higher frame rate than you were getting on the consoles. I mean, now the Series X, you could turn on the frame boost mode with Dying Light and run it at 60. But the consoles only ran Dying Light at 30. The base PS4 and Xbox One, all of the 8th gen consoles, even the mid-gen upgrades, they didn't improve the frame rate.
So pretty much any game you throw at this rig for dirt cheap will run. Even new AAA titles will run pretty damn good.
Mostly.
So for anyone who's been on the fence about PC gaming, they want to try it but not spend a lot of money, here's an option for you. As you see, it's not that expensive at all, and you could play pretty much any game that's out there at good.
I'll stand by that. Back then it was, I mean, now this rig, no. But that was going to be soon to be 6 years ago or 5 years ago. 2017 was 5 years ago. Jesus Christ. I know I always say that, but it still amazes me. But yeah, back then I stand by it. It was pretty awesome for its time.
Good resolutions and good frame rates. Now, a couple weeks from now, I'm not going to say an exact date because life gets in the way. I have a rig that I put together that for dirt cheap, at least for 4K gaming, you can game in native 4K.
Ah, I remember that video.
Medium or high settings. It'll definitely outperform a PS.
There's anyway. Oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a man on the internet. So yeah, you know, I stand by most of that video. And I know what video I'm talking about. The Gaben station. Remember I made the Gaben station? And yeah, that video, that PC was pretty cool. It was running for, I think, the same price as like a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X. I don't remember. It was running games at 4K. However, there was something I should have leaned into more. I should have leaned into more that there was a lot of bottlenecking. I had an i5, I believe, 2400 in there. And yeah, you could definitely get 30 FPS at 4K and it'll stay there solid, but it was definitely a lot of bottlenecking going on. Please watch the clip Colin just sent you in DMs. It's 10 seconds, rich pure goodness. All right, I'll look at it. I will look at it. Let me see. Where you at, dude? I don't see you. What the hell? Anyway, what? Is this you, maybe? No. I don't see it, dude. I'm not just trying to evade you. Well, it's just so funny how much times have changed. AMD was the budget performer even in 2017. That was still before Ryzen didn't come out until early 2017 or like March 2017. But I was with AMD for a while because AMD, take this off for now. AMD was all I could afford. You know, there was such a difference in price, especially like the Phenom days and the, even like the, oh God, Sandy Bridge. Like if you were looking to save money, and that was the last time. Like that was actually when AMD was kind of competitive. I remember they had those 6-core Phenom processors that people were praising back then. But then, and you still were saving money, and you were getting a lot of value, so you went with AMD. What is a horse? A miserable little pile of cucumbers.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
All right, I'll stop using the jaw sitting the ground. It's already wearing on me. Watching you on a mounted TV, and it's so luscious. God, that's the other reason. I actually really like this fucking TV. It's not a sponsored video again. I really just like this fucking TV. That Hisense set. What a long way they've come. Hisense, man. Yeah, and why? What's happening with Ada right now? I have plenty of Ada. Hate talking about it again during a live stream. Do not buy at anything. I'm not even gonna go that much into it. Oh, it's shooting. It's shooting. It was actually even higher. Yeah, things are looking good with Ada, and I'm gonna start staking it too Monday. Well, Hisense, who said that? AR or Alt? Hisense, why are you not a mod? I know I could trust you. Hisense was like, when they first came out, were like 1999 Kia. Kia is a totally different company now than they used to. They actually make good, even some design. I would love to have a Stinger. Fuck that. I would love a Stinger. They actually make good, somewhat desirable cars now. At least, even if they're not desirable to you, you know they're like a reliable car. But when Kia first came out, you were like, okay, they're really shitty, but I actually can afford them. You know what I'm saying? And that was kind of Hisense. Like, I think it was Steve Benway. Shout out to him. He's an OG YouTuber. He's like one of the first, not the first. The first person I ever watched on YouTube was the Irate Gamer, but he was an OG I watched. He actually replied and said, yeah, I had a Hisense TV. It sucked and it broke. I'm like, I bet you had them when they first came out. You know, because that was, Vizio was kind of in that, like, they were like the budget performer TV, but yet they were kind of crappy, but because you could get a flat screen without having to put out a home equity loan to get one, that's why people tolerated Vizio. But they've changed a lot, too. But no, man, Hisense, like, I will definitely now, like, if I ever, which I don't need a TV, I have way too many fucking TVs, but like, they will definitely be someone I will think about. Like, I may buy one, you know, if I need a new TV somewhere. I actually think I actually easily can say that I think the picture is better. And I like my nano cell. I know people say that it has kind of like milky blacks, which I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be, but I definitely will say the colors are punchier and pop more and more vibrant on the Hisense than they are in the LG. The LG is supposed to be like, even their nano cell stuff and all that, it's supposed to be better, but it's not. Like, Hisense has come a long way, man. And I think it's still Conti 123. I think it's still just beginning for Ada. Like, I'm not selling any of it. I'm not selling any of it. Like I said, I'm going to stake it and just leave it. TCL was kind of like TCL now. They're a budget performer. Hell yeah. Like, and actually that TCL mini LED TV is actually pretty badass. Like, that's one you may think about buying instead of buying like a top of the line OLED. Like, it's up there, and it has Google TV on it, which I'm like, I actually kind of like Roku. I like Google TV and Roku kind of the same. Shirt off, cherry popped. Just got a 10 raise and a 30K. Holy shit. As someone who has lost a bunch of weight, the only way I know how to celebrate is with food. How do you celebrate wins? A bird and marijuana. Can I get a Carlos sound effect? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yes. Well, I guess I'm staying on for another half an hour. That's fine, though. It's all good. It's still early. Shit, I thought it was a lot later than that. Why did I think it was like midnight? Never mind. I really don't care that I'm staying on another half an hour. For some reason, I was thinking it's like midnight. So, but that's a $30,000 bonus, dude. Holy shit, that's like life-changing money. And a $30 bonus. Like, that's real. Holy shit. Yeah, that TCL, like, I did think of, who was I watching that review? Did I watch his reviews all the time? And it's a 8K, who gives a shit about 8K? Some people still don't even give a shit about 4K, let alone 8K. But it's mini LED, and he was saying nothing but positive things to say about it. He's a pretty frank guy too. You know what I mean? I don't really like, I mean, not that I don't really like, because, you know, the Hisense TV is QLED. But here's the difference between Hisense's QLED, which they're using basically the same fucking tech, if not the same tech. The Hisense QLED TV, 65 inches with next gen HDMI 2.1 features for under $1,000. Huge TV, HDMI 2.1, variable refresh rate, auto low latency mode. You brought in a $1.1 million contract. Holy shit, man. I guess you're in sales. Good for you. That's fucking crazy, man. That's great. You're getting all like it has a 1,000 nit peak brightness. Keep in mind that's peak. And it comes with Dolby Atmos, which the speakers sound pretty good, but all that stuff for a 65-inch TV for under $1,000. You wanted to get a top-of-the-line Samsung for 65 inches with those features. You'd be spending at least, let's say, to be conservative, about $500 more with those features. If you want, you could find a 65-inch bottom-of-the-barrel 4K Samsung TV, but it's not going to have those features. So that's why I'm not like, when Samsung, QLED, I like QLED. QLED's better than OLED. And I'm like, no, it's not. I don't even really notice the difference between my like entry-level 4K HDR TCL TV. And I remember I brought that back because it was so expensive. I got like the top-of-the-line 43-inch QLED back in 2019. And I brought that back and I got a 55-inch TCL, which was still like $200 cheaper, and the picture looked just the same. But oh shit. Be like water SF48, and I love the nips. Thank you. Thank you for enjoying the nips. But yeah, you could have a 65-inch Samsung QLED panel and the Hisense QLED panel, and I probably couldn't tell the fucking difference. And you probably would be spending at least, let's say, I'll be even more conservative, $400 to $500 more. It's a lot more money to get basically the same fucking thing. I bet you Hisense is probably using like a name brand panel from like Samsung anyway. I mean, yeah, I'm not knocking I just think they're overpriced. I think Samsung's QLED TVs they're overpriced. I don't think for what you get. I mean, you definitely notice that OLED looks better. Now, I always bring up the argument with OLED. Does it, like when I look at the Hisense TV, if you told me that I could never go back to OLED and that my picture would look like the Hisense, I'd be fucking fine with it. And again, I'm not sponsored by them. They just say, like, here's a TV review. We just want to review it first because they don't want me to do a couple things. And, like, they just want to make sure I'm not, like, fucking anything up with specs and stuff like that. But I'm not sponsored by it. But if you told me that I could only game on a VA panel like that and never go back to OLED, oh no, whatever shall I do? You know? The video has sent in your Twitter DMs. Take a look. Let me see. Hey now. Twitter. Here we go.
Oh, Running Doom and Vulcan showed negligible performance.
What was I fucking drunk? I didn't have any alcohol tonight. What the fuck was that?
Oh, Running Doom and Vulcan showed negligible performance.
That was fucking good, man. That was good.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
I like how those mix together with that like over dramatic applause, and my jaw hit the ground. Rich, you by any chance install Windows on the handheld PC you got? I'm wondering how well it will operate on Steam Deck. Oh God, dude, yeah, like this thing you mean? Like this thing? Yeah, it runs Windows 10 great. It runs Windows, like it has a 6-core processor in here. This thing runs it in its sleep if you're talking about the Aya Neo. What? I gotta listen to that thing. That was really good, man.
Oh, Running Doom and Vulcan showed negligible performance. Gains.
I sound like Hank the Angry Drunk. And I'm not drunk at all, in the slightest. I haven't had a sip of alcohol. That was negligible performance gains. Professor Tits, tell me your wisdom. Yeah, TCL used to be kind of shit too. Hisense used to be shit. Vizio used to be, but they've changed things around. I almost had another negligible performance gains there, but it is true, man. They've come a long way because the tech got cheaper and they could put better quality into affordable products. Like I always think back to e-machines, like what e-machines like. Because computers had such a barrier when it came to cost of entry. Like, now, first off, there's barely any desktops to buy when you go into, like, a Best Buy or something like that. But back then, it was, to buy a desktop was a huge investment. So you would have a crap company like E-Machines come around. And fucking E-Machines was like, they found that what they would do is, oh, sure, you could get this PC that would cost you $1,000 from somewhere else. You could get it for $400 from us, but you'll have to sign. Or sometimes they would give them away for free, but the catch was you had to sign up for AOL for 2 years. And they would build the computers like absolute shit. I mean, yeah, sure, it may have a Pentium 2 inside of it, but the computer, the chassis is made from fucking paper mache, and the motherboards are made out of like saran wrap. Carlos needs to be arrested for indecent exposure. He is naked. I never noticed that before. You're right. Go put some fucking clothes on, bird.
Stand up!
Fine, lay on the ground. See if I give a shit. See if I give a shit. Illmatic Tony is here. Illmatic Tony. Well, what did you think it was going to use? OLED? Did you think it was going to... I'm serious, I'm not even being funny. Did you think the Steam Deck was going to use OLED? Nah. All the desktops I see in stores are now gaming rigs. No, non-gaming. Yeah. You may get like maybe 1 or 2 Dells, John, that are, you know, if grandma really wants a Dell, they'll sell her one probably for way more money than she needs to spend. Like, but what is the, why when you could buy a, first off, with what the demographic that used in the early 2000s and late 90s who used to buy those desktops, everything they would need to do is can be done on a cheap ass smartphone. Period. End of discussion. So there is no market for that anymore. Or if someone really, even basic laptops are kind of going out of style. People either want like a super slim Ultrabook, and even those, like, I'd rather just get a phone or a tablet or an iPad at that point. Or it's either gaming laptops or gaming PCs. There's just no reason to have that market anymore. It's gone. It's over. I really had a drink. I'm out of drinks. You know, it's just no reason to have just a plain integrated graphics Dell desktop with no upgrade paths, maybe minus RAM and a hard drive. Why would you buy that in 2021? It's just, an iPad could do more than a Chromebook for less money. No, there's some dirt cheap Chromebooks. What are you talking about? There's a... Yeah, you know what's funny is, well, there are a ton of people I know still use iPads. I use an iPad every day right in front of me. But, man, I remember when the original iPad came out in 2010. Was it 2010? Yes. And everyone thought that when it was successful, because a lot of people kind of doubted if it was going to be first. And Dirty Neck, I see you. Everyone and their mother was coming out with an Android, and they were just like plopping a phone version of Android on there because it was like, Apple has a tablet, we have to have a tablet, and they thought they saw a gold rush there, and you had HTC making tablets, BlackBerry had a tablet with their own OS on it, HP bought a Palm and tried to put Palm OS on it. They literally, it was so weird. I remember I worked for HP for a little bit, and they had made us take training courses on that stupid fucking tablet. Remember that tablet? Which was going to have Palm OS because they bought Palm. They had us taking classes learning like every nook and cranny of that stupid fucking tablet. And they like dropped the whole thing. Like they brought it out, they brought it out to market, and we're just like, yep, nope, dead. I'm like, really? How many fucking courses you had me take in this goddamn stupid fucking tablet? And now you're just like giving up before it even like is on store shelves? They're like, yeah, you can get one for cheap if you want. Yeah, I want to go with a tablet that the company is totally killing off and has an operating system which is totally never going to be supported again, and devs are never going to make apps for it, and you're taking $100 off of it. Sign me up. Can't wait to buy that doorstop. I was like, what the fuck was that about? Can I waste money like that? Please. I wish I had money to waste. I own a 65-inch Hisense U8G and a PS5. There is ghosting when playing PS4 games, but no ghosting when playing games 120 Hz. Do you have that problem? No. I saw it. I said in the review I would see some ghosting actually at high refresh rates. When it's not a deal-breaking amount of ghosting. I've noticed anytime it's not an OLED panel, there is ghosting with the high refresh rates. I saw it on my X900H. I see it on my LG NanoCell. Any VA panel or backlit LCD panel at it with high refresh rate TV, I see it. But no, I actually saw it the opposite. When it was running at 60 FPS, not a drop of ghosting. When I run at 120, you see a little bit. So, Castlevania Grimoire of Souls is coming to Apple. Free-to-play game. Is that what it is? There, you could actually, and use it with a gamepad. You could actually get Symphony of the Night. And if you have a gamepad, I actually think that's a good idea. I got to listen to that again. That's amazing.
Running Doom and Vulcan showed negligible performance.
So negligible. I sound like Hank the Drunken Dwarf, I think he was called. Or who's that guy who still calls in he's always drunk? And he gets like mad if Howard doesn't pick up every single time he fucking calls. My butt's been wiped. Dude, of course I'm going to be shirtless. You know that. Yeah, I pulled a Joe Biden. My butt's been wiped. But yeah, I remember they just like dropped that. There was so much hype around that HP tablet, at least within HP. And they just dropped that whole, like, didn't you just go through buying Palm to use Palm OS to make this fucking tablet? And you're just, that probably hundreds of millions of dollars, not hundreds of millions, but tens of millions at least. Actually, let me look it up. How much did Hewlett-Packard buy Palm for?
According to the Wall Street Journal, Hewlett-Packard will buy Palm for $1.2 billion.
$1.2 billion? Oh, that makes it even more ridiculous and tragic. They bought Palm for $1.2 billion? To drop the thing wasn't even on the market a month. They were like all but shoving that tablet up our asses just to do nothing with it. $1.2 billion to have a product that they barely. Let me look that up. What was the tablet's name? HP Palm tablet. HP touchpad. August 18th, 20. Yeah, man, this thing was so fucking weird. It's July span. I shit you not. I knew I wasn't. I thought I was exaggerating a little bit. Its lifespan was July 1st, 2011 to August 18th, 2011. It was literally almost on the market for almost a month. It was on for a couple months. And I remember thinking, what the fuck did we just go through all that for? I wasn't... So they bought the company for $1.2 billion to have a product that they hyped the shit out of that was on the market for like a month and a half. Yo, can I have $1.2 billion to do fuck all with? Please? Come on. God, oh man, I remember. Let me see if there's a review. HP touchpad. I'm sure there's a review of this thing somewhere. I'm sure there's a review. Let's take a look. HP touchpad review. Who is reviewing it? Mobile Tech Review. John Rettinger. Oh, Jesus. From Techno Buffalo. He's just John Rettinger now.
What's up, everyone? John Rettinger.
We could check this out. Why not? Why not? Why not? I'm just a man on the internet. And we'll close out the night with this. Look at that. Look at the bezels on that thing. They're as thick as my ass. Look at those fucking bezels. Holy shit. There's more bezel than goddamn screen there, son. Rest in peace, Sony Discman. Wow. That's like Discman just died. Jesus, that's why those bezels are still so thick. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but...
From Techno Buffalo here with a full review for you of one of the devices that I was looking forward to most this year. It is, of course, the
Man, that screen is reflective.
HP-built touchpad. Let's go ahead, dig in, get to the full review.
My butt's been wiped isn't there yet, but it will be.
And see if it's worthy of the huge hype that's been bestowed upon it.
And he's right. The hype was huge. The hype was ridiculous for nothing.
So let me recap this.
That was such a 2011 thing. You have like this insanely over-edited intro, and then like you have like a flip cam just pointing at a desk, and you see his ceiling fan in it. That was so 2011.
Specs very quickly of the HP touchpad. It's got a 9.7 inch, and of course that.
I love this tablet. I have such good memories. Well, shit, you're like one of the 12 people that bought one.
It's diagonal display with a resolution of 1024 by 768.
Oh god, that's such a 2011 resolution too. Ooh, it has and Wi-Fi.
Getting all its power from a dual-core Qualcomm-built Snapdragon chip at 1.2 gigahertz. So that's.
And it was probably a single core.
1.2 gigahertz on each core. All right, so let's go ahead and talk
about it was
the
dual core.
OS. This is WebOS 3.0, and there's a lot to talk about. So all that swiping and gestures that you loved or might not have loved about WebOS is all here. You can go ahead and swipe up from any of the bezels, with the one exception of the top one, where the front-facing camera.
It has plenty of bezels to swipe from.
Camera is located, but it works anywhere. So if I've got something open, said open up a web page, swipe up like you saw. You can go ahead and access your deck of cards.
See, HTC was pushing their Android tablet right there.
There's also a physical home button here on the bottom of the device, and you have it all the way up.
And this is, I think 2011 was the first year they had a note, right? No, yes. That was the first year they had a note. So that was the whole big thing. Like phablets were becoming a thing. Tablets with the iPad coming out, and everyone was trying to jump on that train, man.
In portrait orientation, which does exactly the same thing. So I open this up, hit the home button, and it'll take me right back to where I was. There's not much additional functionality you get with the home button. You can use it to take screenshots, for example, much like you can on an iPhone or an iPad. You know, hold this down, quick button combo, and it takes a screenshot. It's a bit superfluous and unnecessary. I found myself never even using that home button, but it is there. Notifications are a bit different. They show up in the upper right-hand corner. I've got a Facebook one that's popped up right there. You can see what it is.
Nothing like showing your friends' names. Showing your friends' names on Facebook, John. Privacy complaints, sir.
And they'll also show up on the lock screen if you like them to. So you can see what it looks like right there.
John, a Techno Buffalo is going to ram your ass for showing this privacy.
Notification. Swipe off, and there it goes. Very unobtrusive. I love the way WebOS does notifications. They really do it right. They're completely out of the way, but you can access them whenever you need to. All right, so let's talk about this screen. The screen here is absolutely beautiful. I'll go ahead and open up a Techno.
Man, if times have changed. Imagine someone came out with a screen like that now with the heavy reflective, low-res, super thick bezel. Man.
Buffalo image. Video absolutely pops. Images absolutely pop. If you're looking at a website, text is...
Well, that's good, because with how fast and hard they drop this thing, all you're going to be doing is watching video on it.
Crisp and clear. The screen on this...
PlayStation Vita trailer. We are in a different time here, folks.
This is absolutely great. Beautiful. If you were worried about getting a washed out effect or worried it might look like, well, Motorola Zoom, for example, not to worry. You're going to get a beautiful, beautiful viewing experience here on the touchpad. All right, so now let's talk about the browser, since that's where we are right now anyway. The browser here is probably one of the best I've seen on a tablet, and that goes for any tablet in existence.
It's funny, like now if it performed like it's struggling, but at this time just to see it not struggling as much was like, wow.
Extremely smooth. I very rarely saw that checkerboard.
Yeah, as it's not loading anything.
Loading.
But that was good back then.
Pinch to zoom was extremely smooth. And one of the best things about this tablet is its ability to play Flash. And it plays Flash extremely well. Once again,
John,
the best implementation.
Your mic, your butt's been wiped. I used to watch your videos on my Google Nexus 7 when it came out, man. The Google Nexus 7 was that the tablet you're talking about? I think I had one of them.
I've ever seen of Flash on a mobile device. Let's go ahead and go to YouTube, and we'll go to...
We're watching old-ass videos of people, and something made me think about the HP touchpad that when I worked for them, Turbo Express, they used to make me push the shit out of this thing. They bought it for $1.2 billion, not million, $1 billion. And they literally dropped it over like a month and a half. Went through the whole thing of buying Palm for $1.2 billion. They had us obsessed. They tried to make us know every little detail about it. They thought this tablet was going to be like the second coming of Christ, HP internally. And then when they realized, like, yeah, it's probably not going to sell that well. Yeah, probably no one wants WebOS because either people want Android or iOS for their devices. They just were like, yep, dropping it like a log of shit. Just $1.2 billion, just flush down the fucking toilet.
The native YouTube. We'll go to the YouTube channel, John 4 Lakers. So we'll go ahead and cue that up. And it will start playing the video. And if you like to browse YouTube videos, you can browse them just as you would on your desktop computer. There really isn't a YouTube...
God. This was when I remember people used to be so worried about Flash coming to mobile devices, and then they're like, wow, Flash is a hog and it needs to die. But there was a time, I think was it Samsung or HTC was like, our smartphone will play is Flash compatible. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Like back then, but even I thought, like, oh man, if I don't have Flash, what am I going to do? Like, it was a different time. It's weird to say 2011 was a different time, but it was a different fucking time.
Here, because one's not necessary. You can use YouTube and watch video just as you could anywhere else. And as I showed you in my unboxing, it does actually play Hulu, or at least it hasn't been blocked yet from playing Hulu.
Yeah, that thing is just to load the text in. It's like, God save me.
So if you have one of these, you might enjoy it while it lasts before that gets blocked. So go ahead and let it start to play.
Yeah, let it start.
Queue up. And you are going to get your video played.
God, look how different YouTube looked, man.
And you are going to get the same controls that you get.
Microsoft learned from Zune. You could see some of the design in the Surface line when companies like HP buy Palm, quits, and never uses IP. Why? I don't get it.
Your desktop browser, you get the full scrubber effect across the bottom. And go ahead and make this full screen.
Yeah, it's struggling to play. But again,
go ahead and turn the volume down so I don't make anybody deaf. It's a good time actually to mention the Beats audio
that is running at like 12 frames a second, John.
speakers. They're 2 located.
We are seeing that man with his crooked glasses. I shouldn't talk. My glasses are crooked too. Is running at like.
Here. The audio that comes out of these sound absolutely fantastic, although it's not going to do it justice to hear it come from.
That is not an ideal viewing experience, John. But again, back then, oh my God, it's running Flash. Oh my God, it's running the desktop version of YouTube. Barely. Like, what are your thoughts on labor unions like Teamsters? I don't know anything about Teamsters, but I do think unions are still important. That's why companies try to bust up unions, because they know that they're out for the employee's best interest and not for the company's bottom line. But I don't know anything about Teamsters. I'd have to look into it. Back when the mobile site was better than the app. Mobile site I still think is better, or the I still think the mobile site in a lot of ways is better than the oh God, no, back I read that wrong. Back when the mobile site was better. Yes. Cuz the app was so limited back then. Different times now. The app now is better, but back then it was different. Shit, I missed the old YouTube channel. Customization was beyond great. I remember when people were raging about the beta channels. Yes. I remember Archfiend was freaking out about that. That was a long time ago. I could put my shirt back on. We'll finish this, though. So my children could wake me up at 6 a.m., but it's not like I could fall asleep at 9 o'clock at night anyway. Hold on. We gotta spread my cheeks and just go to town. Yeah. Companies hate unions, dude.
The tablet to the camera, then upload it to YouTube, which is going to sound average. Where the Beats audio really comes to play, though, is when you have headphones.
Yeah, man, that was a much different time. Like, it's funny, you could see the influence of prominent sites of the past. Like, I feel like older YouTube kind of was taking ideas from MySpace, kind of like how Android. What do you realize that Android, before the iPhone came out, Android was trying to copy BlackBerry. You know, it's a much different. But back then, YouTube, I think, was trying to copy like the MySpace concept.
The audio that you get out of this is absolutely outstanding. All right, so here's Flash playing.
Barely.
See John Quatch. You make it full screen. You get a pretty nice viewing experience. It stutters for just a second, then it opens up in full.
That is not a set. That is a long second, and now it is upside down, John. That is not just a second, John. That was a few seconds, and now we are upside down. Is Revision 3 even... I don't even think Rev 3 is still around at all, is it?
Screen. Now, this I found a little annoying. You can't watch YouTube videos in any orientation you want. You can only watch it the way it wants you to, which is like this. It's not a giant deal, but something that I found very annoying while watching.
No, that's a pretty big deal, John. I'm going to lose sleep over that tonight, John. That's a big fucking deal.
A video, laying in bed or something. I have to keep turning around if I didn't have it set up the right way.
Are you naked when you lay in bed, John? Because if you're naked, oh my God, we have a crotch shot of John. Hopefully he was, if he was naked, you would see some dong in that super fucking reflective screen. Holy shit. That is more reflective with just the screen than with the tempered glass I have on my iPhone. Man, I could use that to shave my ass in the morning as a mirror. Damn, that's no one would accept that in 2021. A screen that reflective? It is reflecting on John's crotch right now. John 4 crotch.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
My jaw is too for John's crotch.
So there is Flash content, no stuttering, really smooth. If you like to watch a lot of Flash videos, this is
It looks a little better in full screen, but it was stuttering quite a bit there, Mr. Lakers. We're going to call him Mr. Lakers. It feels like you're talking about me, but I know you aren't. What do I, John. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, I get you now. I know your name is John, but I'm saying like, oh, because I'm talking about, yeah, I get you now, John.
Absolutely a
Took me a
wonderful
minute.
choice. All right, so let's go ahead and exit.
What are you choking on, John? What are you choking on, Mr. Rettinger? You need a sip. Take a sip of something.
Out of this. So, conclusion, browser, pretty awesome.
For 2011 standards, yes. But that was still, like, it's like, oh, wow, cool. I could watch a Flash video on my tablet. Yeah, I need to go back to something else now to watch it. This sucks.
So there's Junk Watch. Go ahead and
It was
pause
a novelty.
And if you want to exit out of a full screen,
You are stroking that man's face,
you
sir.
have to exit out of it, and then you can go ahead and do your little swipe up.
Yeah, that looked as smooth as, I don't know, something like my ass unshaven.
We'll go and get that out of here. Also,
Get it out!
kind of a fun thing too. If you want to close an application, obviously you can swipe it off the screen, but you can also bounce it off the screen, which I found to be kind of fun. If you pull all the way down, it'll snap right up like that. I don't know.
Oh my god. That is the most amazing thing. I am going to go out now and buy a bunch of HP touchpads so I can bounce my apps off the screen. The 0 that are still supported. I want to bounce them. I don't want to swipe up. Fuck swiping up. Let me see what happens if I swipe up here. They don't bounce. They don't, man. The HP touchpad has something that my iPhone 12 does not. I cannot bounce. I can't bounce my apps down. I'm going to have to go get an HP touchpad.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
I'll probably have to go to a fucking landfill because it's the only place these pieces of shit are.
It was enjoyable to me. All right, so let's talk about...
Was it, John? Was it enjoyable, John? Let's continue here, John. What are you going to show me now? How is porn performance on this thing, John? Please don't actually do a real-world test because we will see way too much in the reflection, John. We already saw your crotch this evening. I'm offended.
Apps. Apps are important to use. Apps are...
I have also seen DSP jiggle his own balls. Granted, under his boxers, he had his hand above him. You didn't actually see the balls, but you did see, like, movement of his sack. And I will never be the same. I am seeing way too many YouTuber crotches. And I'm concerned.
Important to me. Apps are the lifeblood of tablets.
Yes, and that's why this tablet was dead on fucking arrival.
And here we're looking at the HP app.
Because there had to be some talks behind the scenes with devs that were like, yo, this thing ain't going anywhere. I bounce off her pad every day, if you know what I mean. I can't think of anything. Patrick, why are you trying to make me be witty right now? I don't have it in me, bro. I just can't do it. We're talking about John here. We see John Ceiling Fan. What are we pivoting, John?
App catalog. And unfortunately, there aren't many apps. This is the same criticism I had with...
Gee, I wonder why. Because everyone knew before this thing was even on anyone's desk that it was dead.
Android Honeycomb, there just wasn't that much out there. Developers haven't had that much time with the APIs. Certainly HP is making a huge push to get apps on this thing.
More like they were begging and no one was responding.
But there just aren't many right now. In fact, one of their flagship apps that they showed when they first launched this device, or
was Pornhub.
Or showed it rather, in February. You can see some of the applications.
Oh my god, it's not even scrolling. It's just doing like... Yo, it's just doing like snapshots. If that's scrolling, I have washboard abs. What is going on there? Remember when it took 2 minutes to load a web page on this? Oh my god, yeah, now it's like you go this it runs it just as good as my PCs now. It's just crazy, man. Especially with the M1 silicon.
right here. Some of them are optimized for touchpad. It'll show up when they're not, just won't say for touchpad.
Even like the Snapdragon 8, all the new chips, man, are monsters.
But I was really excited to go ahead and check out the Kindle store.
Ooh, now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of this review. Going to the Kindle store. It's just what I want, because you know just what I want to do. I want to read apps on a screen that I can use as a fucking mirror. I'm just gonna be sitting there staring at my face reading a book. Sign me up, partner.
That was one of the apps that they showcased when they first launched it. It's even here on the device. So go ahead and launch it. I'm gonna read my books. Boom! Thank you for downloading Kindle. We're hard at work.
Oh man, thank you for downloading Kindle. We're hard at work to bring you the best apps for your HP touchpad. I bet you they're still working on that right now. They're still working. They are still working on that right now. Kindle is coming very soon. Keep this app installed on your device, and we will send you a notification through Software Manager as soon as it becomes available. That notification's not coming, Amazon, is it? Where's my Kindle app for my HP touchpad, Mr. Bezos? I want to stare at myself as I read a book in the super fucking reflective screen. Mr. Bezos.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Bringing it to you. They just gave you an icon that takes you to splash screen and says it's not ready yet.
This thing was such a mess. Oh, this brings back so many weird memories. This thing was, they were like, they wanted me to spoon with one of these fucking tablets in my sleep. They were like, you need to like learn this thing. You need to caress it. You need to rub it against your nipples and know how every single aspect of this thing works. Oh yeah, by the way, we're totally dumping it. What?
Ready yet. It's got a lot of potential. Maybe it'll have a ton of apps, but there just aren't that.
You have a lot of potential, Mr. Redinger. But this tablet does not. You techno buffalo, you.
That many right now.
Hear about what happened to Danny DeVito losing his blue check mark on Twitter for tweeting about the Nabisco strike. They restored it after backlash. No, I did not. What the fuck happened with that? Danny DeVito is like 4 feet tall. It's just so there's that. It's funny to see him in like movie roles and stuff like that because he's such a short dude. But he just works. Like there's something about like he's also a very talented guy, but there's something about Danny DeVito couldn't be Danny DeVito if he was like 6'11". It just works for him. I also bet you guys like that are always hung like a horse too. Like he gets a boner. He's like a tripod from War of the Worlds. Why am I even talking about this? Let's continue.
Now, the apps that there are, however, there's a dedicated Facebook app for the tablet, which works very well. Although I prefer the web, just native web version of Facebook. You're gonna ahead and have that here, and there are some Twitter applications and the stuff that you'd use.
God, that F Facebook looks so dated, man. This is literally a decade ago. What the fuck? 2011 was a decade ago. 2011 feels like sane compared to like what 2021 is. This was like the calm before. Everyone was worried about the Mayans in 2012. They had nothing to worry about in 2012, man. They needed to worry about 2020. They needed to worry about late 2019 into everything after. Even Trump's tremendous 2016 spray tan nipples were nothing compared to 2020. Like 2011 feels like paradise, even with tablets with thick ass bezels like this.
On a pretty regular basis. All right, so let me go ahead and jump back to a browser window. So I want to show you the keyboard. The keyboard here is one of the things I really liked about the touchpad. You can see it right here, and it's pretty standard.
And it's pretty dated looking.
Fair, it's a keyboard, but what makes it...
There is an Earth there.
Much easier for me, at least, is having that full row of numbers across the top. I never realized how often I use numbers and eliminating a keystroke of having to hit a function button.
That is quite fucking true. I wish more keyboards had that on phones, virtual keyboards. I hate having to like shift twice sometimes to get to a character or to get to numbers. Bah! I thought I had a burp, but I didn't. I remember 4 years ago, I went a low-budget blue tablet Blue. Blue sometimes makes great stuff, and then sometimes they make shit. Performed like garbage, had to factory reset it a few times since time didn't sync. Yeah, that sounds like some of Blue's products, yes. But then they've sent me some phones sometimes that were actually pretty awesome. But then they would also send me other stuff that was absolutely terrible. So that sounds like it could be a Blue product. It's rolling the dice with Blue. Sometimes you get a lot of bang for the buck, and sometimes they bang you in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
That was not what I meant to hit, but that worked too.
Button, and then hit the numbers. Made it much, much easier. A little bit annoying.
Tell me more about the numbers, John. I'm not a man of math. I need to know more. All these numbers that you speak of.
This tab button, the same thing as a tab button on an actual keyboard.
Maybe using those numbers can make you calculate the next time you'll show your crotch in that very reflective screen.
Down. I kept thinking I had to hit tab if I wanted to get like the exclamation mark or something. You know, that was just me. You get access to symbols and smiley faces and all that stuff.
I'm always worried about the smiley faces on my tablet. Man, I just need to get to those fucking emojis faster. How was your day? It was great. Fuck, where's the smiley face? Where's the smiley face? Oh, thank God it's right there. Thank you, HP Touchpad. Now I could send a smiley face that no one ever needs to fucking see much quicker. Thank you.
Good.
Keyboard's pretty good. You can see the letters that you type over it, and it just works well. I launched Google. But it does, you know, it does
Google, I'm feeling lucky.
work, and it's a keyboard. It's got the multi-touch capabilities. You know, I would have liked to have had the letters sort of hover up as I have my finger over.
I like swipe. I still like swipe. I use swipe all the fucking time.
It, but it's pretty good, and it works well when you have it in landscape orientation as well. Now, if memory serves me correct, when we first saw...
Will it serve you correct, though, John? By the way, I like John Rettinger. I'm just being an asshole right now. He's like one of my favorite YouTubers. I just want to let that be known. People are turning the OnlyFans policy change into a banking global simps out there losing their minds over a first world problem. Yeah, but dude, it shows how much power private corporations have over dictating what we can consume. As a person who has never once in my life signed up to anyone's OnlyFans, I still think it should exist, and I still think so long as it's adult and it's consensual, that if they want to put up adult risque porn content and people want to pay for it, so long as no one's getting hurt, I don't understand why they are doing what they're doing. That is the bread and butter. That is what OnlyFans is known for. I have never heard anyone saying, hey, I want to pay for an OnlyFans, or I watch someone fucking cook a chicken. I've never heard that. So I don't understand it. I don't understand what the big fucking deal is. I don't understand why someone cares if someone else wants to watch someone consensually get penetrated by someone else. Why people are losing their minds. I don't get it. I don't get why they're doing this. Like I said before, it's like if Linus Tech Tips woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm not reviewing computers or tech anymore. I'm just going to talk about history and show you my stamp collection. Because I want to bring in a more broad... What? You're not known for that. OnlyFans, you think of people going there to see sexual content. That's it. Sorry, OnlyFans. That's what you're known for. And you're trying to bite the hand that literally fucking feeds you. Linus Sex Tips.
Saw this at the Palm event. They were showing us that you could actually resize the keyboard to different sizes. That, however, does not appear to have made it into the shipping version of this. So maybe we'll see that in future updates. Go ahead and...
Well, how big would you... Well, I guess making it smaller would be... Because you could like maybe do like one hand... I don't know. I'm just... I don't know. I'm going to shut the fuck up. Look at that ceiling fan. It's beautiful. Best ceiling fan I ever seen. Would John review the ceiling fan next? Review it. I want to know how much airflow does it have? Does it give you a cool breeze, John? Does it make the buffaloes get more technico or techno? I like those techno buffaloes. Foraging in the forests. High-tech buffaloes. Those buffaloes have smartwatches. And they will power ram your ass if you go near them, man. You'll have a buffalo horn in your hole. Bird! You're going to have a buffalo horn in your hole. Just letting you know. Okay? John from Techno Buffalo is going to send his buffaloes to your hole, and your porcelain holes are going to have a horn in them. Anyway.
To get that guy off the screen. Let's go ahead and check out email. This will use...
I don't want... John,
Palm or
John, are you going to have any more private names in your email, sir?
HP's now Synergy applications. We'll sort of bring everything together. It's email.
Oh, he actually does. John! John! Why would you do this to your friends and your coworkers? Andrew is probably not happy about this. Jason, well, he only has his first name. Christopher is pissed. And Jackie, she's like, holy shit! Motherfucking John is out here doxing all of his employees and friends. He's just like, colleagues, they're knowing who you are, man. Like, John!
It works. I like that you have these sort of sliding panels so you can move things over and
Yeah, slide over the people that you're doxing right now.
get more room depending on what you need or don't need.
Obviously, he's not really doxing. It's just, but he is, though. He's showing, he's not doxing, but like, yeah, here, there's names. People I am sure looked up Christopher Hill and Jackie Veterono after this. How many views this video get, John? Almost 500,000? Yes, they got bothered. I'm telling you.
Or what you want to see. It's a very elegant interface, and the email just works pretty well in here. So that's all I'm going to talk about that. Go ahead and swipe that sucker.
Bro, the reflection on this. Someone, that's a fancy mirror. Who said that? Christopher Dennis. You're like, yo, that is... I have mirrors less reflective than this fucking thing.
Off the screen. Let's go ahead and talk about Just Type. Something interesting here in Just Type. And Just Type is HP's version of Universal Search. And it searches universally, but there's something funny in here that I wanted to show you. So let me go ahead.
Yeah, John, I need some laughter in my life. Come on. That's not Better Business Bureau John's looking up. That's big, beautiful breasts, by the way.
Go ahead and type something. Let's just type BBBBB.
Big, beautiful breasts, bobbing brazenly. Or we'll go with brazenly.
Good.
And you can search on Google, and there are other sort of functionality you can put in here. We'll hide the keyboard. Twitter, YouTube.
God, look at that YouTube logo. Who drew that YouTube logo with a fucking crayon? Well, look at the YouTube. Oh, we need a like. Hey, we want to spend as minimum of a budget on any kind of YouTube app for the HP. What is it called again? Horsepad, touchpad, because we know it's gonna have no fucking market. All right, here, make a logo. Here, give Bob a crayon and have him make a logo. I'd use the reflection to take selfies. Oh, there's you go. There you go. 2011, when 816 gig was big and email took up space. Yes. Much different time. You could actually do stuff with 16 gigabytes of storage. 8 gigabytes even kind of back then was shitty.
And all that stuff. But if you look at that YouTube logo, it is super pixelated. All right, so
super. It looks like someone made that logo in like Mario Paint on the SNES. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, dun 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 dun. Ah, dun 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 dun. Oh yeah. Dun 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 dun. Oh yes.
There you go. You can see that YouTube logo. It is just completely pixelated. It's funny that that made it into the shipping build.
It is. It is sad that made that. That is a tragedy of a logo. Like, we are understating how fucking hot garbage that logo is. That logo looks like they I'm telling you, because you could actually make like the stamps, I believe, in Mario Paint, where you could make per pixel. Like, they had a kid go into Mario Paint and make that YouTube logo. Actually, you could probably do a better one in Mario Paint than that one.
I don't know. It's one of those little things that I wanted to point out. All right, so let's talk about build quality.
Yes, fuck horses. Yes.
I don't give a shit!
Yes.
Here of the HP touchpad. Feels pretty solid. It's nice and good in the
Does it feel solid, John?
hands. It is probably the biggest
Does it feel good in the hands, John? Is it solid?
fingerprint magnet of any device I've ever used. Not
Well, that is some shiny, cheap shit plastic right there. That's another 20. You would never see any phone manufacturer releasing a phone with plastic like that now. That is like a huge no.
just the back.
Imagine, like, you turn it around and there was like an imprint of like a ball sack print. Like, oh man, I accidentally pressed my balls against the back of this, and now there's a grease print on there. I don't. Why would he do that? Why am I even saying that? Why would John Rettinger press his balls against the back of an HP touchpad? But weirder shit has happened. Blippy, we do live in a world where Blippy has shit on another man.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
But the screen as well, if I turn this off, in addition to the reflection of my overhead fan, you're going to see fingerprints, and usually they wipe off pretty easily. This one you really got to scrub if you want to clean it.
What the fuck did they make
The
it?
package comes in.
You have to scrub? You got to use a fucking Brillo pad to get off fingerprints? My girl likes me when I'm solid, if you know what I mean. When you, like, have a solid bowel movement? Well, actually, that could be with some people. That's a sexual thing, too. Never mind, moving on.
Relatively heavy by tablet standard, 1.6 pounds. When you compare it to the iPad 2 or the Galaxy Tab 10.1, you realize that you are carrying definitely a heavier tablet. So let's talk about battery life. It's got a 6,300 milliamp hour battery life. See the battery indicator there.
It's a pretty big battery, even by today's standards. Holy shit.
Right-hand corner. And battery life is actually pretty outstanding. I was able to get through 3 days pretty easily of watching intensive video, email coming in constantly. Battery life was not a problem on here, even while viewing.
No, there was probably like an Angry Birds knockoff. I don't know. I'm sure there was like some games. Maybe he'll show them now. I don't know.
Video and doing intensive stuff. I do wish there was a back camera on here. Not that I used it very often, but I like to have the option to not use it at least. This is completely missing any sort of a rear camera. It does have a front-facing camera, but it's really not user accessible. There isn't a camera application where you can snap a photo of yourself, for example. You have to just use this for video conferencing with Skype, which, when we did the testing, does not work with the new Mac client. So if you want to Skype video with someone who's using a Mac, you are going to be out of luck until
Man, the hits just keep on coming with this thing, huh?
a software fix comes out. We did test
Where are all those software fixed, John? Where is all that software? Who's fixing it?
it from mobile device to touchpad, so from an iPhone to a touchpad, for example. It worked, and from a PC to a touchpad, it also worked as well. Something to keep in mind. So let me wrap this all up into a conclusion. The touchpad is...
Wrap it up for me, John. Let me know. What is your conclusion here, John? Do you love this? Do you still use the HP touchpad to this day? I hope the fuck not.
Is really a microcosm of HP in general. A lot of potential. You know, there's a lot here. The operating system is smooth, it's slick, but there's just something about...
That was not smooth. It's well, but again, I have to put my brain a decade ago, literally now, pretty much a decade on the money. That was smooth and slick back then. Being able to run desktop YouTube at all on a tablet was pretty mind-blowing. So even if it was terrible, you were still like, wow, this is such a great experience. I get to watch YouTube videos at 3 frames a second. What a time to be alive.
About it that makes you realize you can't use it on an everyday basis. Whether it's the lack of...
This would not be a tablet you would want to fap to porn with, though. Because like, you would just be seeing like your O phases, and you'd be just like, oh God, that's me.
Support, whether or not it's the heavy size, it's just not something that I think I could use every single day, especially at a price point that's exactly the same as the iPad 2 and the Galaxy Tab 10.1.
Yeah, this thing was way overpriced, son.
I was trying to decide what the value add was for the HP touchpad. So if you want to get a tablet, and assuming you don't have any feeling one way or another towards Apple or Google or RIM, why would...
John, you had a voice crack there. Google. Apple. This doesn't compare. We need more secret sauce. Put this mayonnaise in the sun.
I don't give a shit!
I'll never get over that. I love that.
You're getting Grandpa excited.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
I'm just going to hit buttons. You should watch a video called How to Build a Gaming PC in 2001 from some show called The Computer Chronicles. Yes, we will do that tomorrow. I'm dead ass. We will do that tomorrow.
Would you get a touchpad? And I couldn't think of an answer, especially at that $500 price point. You'd be much better suited going with an iPad.
All right, if I wish I could give you a crystal ball. Maybe you could use that. Maybe you could use the light from your ceiling fan, John, as the crystal ball to predict that the HP touchpad would be dead in less than, let's say, 3 months. It would have barely a summer on the market. Not even a full summer. Dear summer, I know you're going to miss me.
iPad 2, going with the Galaxy Tab 10.1, and getting that sort of more robust ecosystem and a more polished product. Now, maybe we'll see revisions and software updates come up that'll address...
Maybe. No, you won't. John, it's over for this thing.
Some of my gripes. Maybe we'll see developers...
Some of your grapes? I know you said grapes, but I just want to think if you said grapes. I bet you John ate grapes after this. Did you eat grapes after this, Mr. Rettinger? Did you have some nice... What do they call them? What are they're red grapes or purple grapes? I don't know. Did you have a whole snack of grapes? Grapes are good for you, John. You should eat grapes. They're sweet and delicious. John. Why am I shaking my legs, John?
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Really make a big push here. But I know if I was a developer and I was making an application and I had a choice to write it...
You would run the fuck away from this thing, pal.
...for the touchpad, write it for Android, or write it for iOS.
I'd rather write code for a Commodore 64 than this fucking thing.
I'd be very hard pressed.
Not because what I'm saying is it's a dead platform, but there's probably was more life in like the niche like Commodore 64 enthusiast community, literally, than there is with this thing. At the time, obviously, no one gives a fuck. Like, is anyone even like, oh, what a cool piece of retro tech? Is anybody? Actually, I should make a video on this thing. Spread your cheeks and just go to town, Rich. That's a good idea. Anyway, let's continue. Let's finish this video.
To spend my time writing an application for the touchpad. I think we're going to see really a lot of that in here. Now, if this was $50 cheaper or $100 cheaper, I'd say
or fucking free.
Absolutely, it's a great tablet to get. $100 less than you'd be competing with.
No, John. He's not lying. I mean, at the time, no one knew it was going to be so tragic, but...
Something like the Asus ePad Transformer, and you're going to have 2 really good choices. But I just can't recommend it for the price. I can't figure out what the value add is. Things like the Touchstone dock are kind of neat, and the Touch to Share at the Pre 3, but that's not out yet, and I can't show you that. So you're left with a wireless charging option that's going to cost you an extra couple bucks, and a tablet that works well, but maybe not as well as other tablets on the market. So HP, once again, it's close, almost there, but it's just not quite 100%. So maybe we'll stay tuned for the touchpad 2 or maybe future software updates.
Where's the touchpad 2? Where's the fucking touchpad 2? I'll review that shit, Hewlett Packard. I'll review it. Send me a touchpad 2. Wonderful touch feeling pad. I want to wonder. We're gonna make it. We're gonna call up HP. We're gonna take over the world by storm. We're gonna compete. I'm gonna be the CEO of HP, and we're gonna bring back the touchpad. We're gonna call it the wonderful touch feeling pad. It's gonna have a 720p screen. We're taking over the world, Bird. Trust me. I bought 1 million Hewlett Packard tokens, so I am now the CEO. True story. I'll show you the Bird. I will show you the contract, motherfucker.
But for right now, I just can't recommend it to my audience. I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. Do you agree or disagree?
You're a man of honor, John. That's what you should have said. Don't recommend this thing.
What you guys have to say, and I'll see you in the next video.
Oh, John got that porn. He got the porn music. John, we get a crotch shot and then he got porn music anyway. John showing personal names, porn music, crotch shots. I would say this review was a 10 out of 10. The more crotch, the merrier for me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it's that time. I need to go to bed. Ladies and gentlemen, regular chat, super chat, I appreciate all of you for being here. Have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow. I may not have videos. My editor is going to be away. And just depending on what goes on with weather and stuff, I'm not getting the brunt of the hurricane, but if I lose power or whatever, but I'm hoping if I don't lose power, I'll be back tomorrow night with another stream. And if some news comes up, I'll have a video if it's something big. Like me. Have a good night.